Hare Krishna. Before starting the presentation, we would like to take blessings from His Grace Radheshyam Prabhuji, His Grace Vamshi Gopal Prabhuji, Her Grace Bhadravati Mataji, and Her Grace Shamlata Mataji, and His Grace Gaur Mandal Prabhu. So please bless us that we perform
all the Vaishnavas
and all the Vaishnavas, so that we can perform properly for all of your pleasure. And we would like to introduce ourselves.
Hare Krishna Dharmat Pranam. My name is Sanskriti Srivastav.
Hare Krishna, my name is Geeta Upasana Devidasi.
Hare Krishna, my name is Tulsi Priya Devidasi.
Hare Krishna, I am Leela Radhika Devidasi.
Hare Krishna, this is Priyanka Gerani.
Hare Krishna, I am Rashmi. Everybody knows me. Krishna Rupa Devidasi.
Prabhuji, PPT.
Can start. Geeta Mataji, look at Tulsi Priya Mataji's sari. Such a nice sari she's wearing.
Yeah, she always wears pretty saris.
Yeah, I know. She wears such nice saris. देखते अभी क्या होता है उनकी साड़ी का.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Neighbors envy, owners pride. So whenever you see somebody and you envy somebody, so envy is there in the material world also, envy is there in the spiritual world also, but envy in the material world pulls us down, it degrades us, whereas envy in the spiritual world, you appreciate people, you are more humble and you are more tolerant. And those who envy in the material world, they have vacant hearts. उनका हृदय बिल्कुल खाली रहता है क्योंकि अंदर से खोखला होता है. And envy in this material world, it will bind you to your own faults, and you will have lack of faith in Krishna also. That is why being judgmental has its roots rooted in envy. You judge people, she's like that, he's like that. So that is why we must have this attitude of gratitude. And that is where, when you have gratitude for the Vaishnavas, for the Parampara, then that's where, you can eliminate envy. And when we envy, we want to be violent to ourselves. And that's where Krishna also says, Himsa kar rahe ho aap apne saath, jab aap irsha kar rahe ho.
Okay, so we have joined this Krishna consciousness movement to ultimately go back to Godhead, get rid of this material world, and involve and engage ourselves in loving devotional service unto Lord. पर देखते हैं कि जो श्रीमद् भागवतम है उसका 1.2 श्लोका, मतलब श्रीमद् भागवतम कैसे शुरुआत होती है. श्रीमद् भागवतम क्या है? निगम कल्पतरु. इट इज अ राइपन फ्रूट ऑफ डिवोशनल सर्विस. तो देखते हैं कि 1.2 श्लोका में बताया गया है श्रीमद् भागवतम में, धर्म प्रोजित कैतवत्र रमो निर्मत्सराणाम सताम. That is, one can understand this devotional truth only when is pure in the heart and one is non-envious. And also in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says to Arjuna that I am giving you this knowledge because you are non-envious. So being non-envious is the foundation for devotional life. So now let us see if we have envy in our heart, तो devotees के बीच में कैसे dealings होते हैं.
Hare Krishna. Skit number 1. Does our heart blossom or burn by seeing others win? I am playing Ashutosh Das and Mataji is playing Daksha Das. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, in our colony we distributed 2,000 books during Srila Prabhupada Marathon.
Hare Krishna, I think we should be balanced in our material duties and Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we'll do big book distribution and family members will be frustrated.
No, Prabhu, this was a combined endeavor by husbands and wives. All the children were taken care by Vanprastha families, and the prasadam for distribution were cooked by young unmarried girls of our team at their homes. In this way, everybody participated in Srila Prabhupada book distribution for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure. It was all Krishna's miracle.
We also distributed 250 books, but we read Srila Prabhupada books before going out for distributing the same. Srila Prabhupada said, Distributing books will bring people, but reading them will keep them. What is the use of distributing big number and getting lots of people who just come and go? We believe in spiritual strength through sadhana and reading, not just making a show of big number of books distributed.
Prabhu, our counselor has told us that unless we complete 5 hours of reading Srila Prabhupada books per week, we'll not be allowed to go for this. So we made groups in the evenings, studied Srila Prabhupada books for 45 minutes per day, and then went out for book distribution.
That's all right. Whatever we do is ultimately done by Krishna. We should not be proud. Krishna doesn't like pride in the heart of his devotees. Big distributors have fallen victim to Maya. I think it is better for you all to take a humble role and go a bit slow in consciousness. Otherwise, there is no point blowing your trumpet with big number now and vanish in the oblivion after only Krishna conscious for a few months.
Thank you for your kind advice, Prabhu. We just shared with you our scores with the hope to please you. We'll surely be careful about whatever you said. Hare Krishna.
Yes, work on attitude first. Just numbers doesn't make you great.
Hare Krishna. So we saw in this kit that how unhealthy comparison leads to such conversations. So, next slide. So we saw that the kind of emotions in unhealthy comparisons are like, why are they praising him, not me? I have personally experienced this. मुझे ऐसे लगा था मेरे काउंसलिंग ग्रुप में कि दूसरे ग्रुप मेंबर्स का ग्लोरिफिकेशन ज़्यादा हो रहा है मेरे से, बिकॉज ऑल्दो आई हैव डन मोर सर्विस एंड आई हैव गॉन थ्रू दिस. सो उसमें मुझे बाद में ऐसे रियलाइज़ हुआ कि प्रॉब्ली ही हैज़ डन समथिंग दैट आई एम नॉट अवेयर ऑफ. सो एंड इट इज़ नॉट गुड टू डू दिस कंपैरिजन. And then I want it first. Why everyone is giving attention to him and he is an attention seeker? This is kind of a feeling that we get. I'm doing such wonderful things. They don't acknowledge me. Look at that cabbage. They simply praise that cabbage, good for nothing. So really, all these kind of emotions, are they healthy for our devotional service? Can you go to next slide, please? So we see that what are the effects of unhealthy comparison? They are keeping us away from our goal. What is our goal? We want to go back to Godhead. So envying one person, is it worth it that will keep us away from going back to God? Is that person that important for us? No, right? Then loss of intelligence. These are some of the effects of being envy, that we lose our intelligence. Instigates us to trouble others, destroys our mental peace. We become stone-hearted. Really, we want to, as a devotee, our heart should be very soft, and blinds a person to his own fault. So we are not able to see our own fault. We are always feel that we are the most glorified person, and the others are always faulty, right? Fall down in bhakti, it is a very serious thing. It can really lead us to fall down in bhakti. As Mataji said in the first, in the Srimad Bhagavatam shloka, unless we become non-envious, our bhakti doesn't start really. We prolong our purification and we don't taste the nectar of bhakti. So these are some of the effects of being envious of others. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now let's see, when there is healthy comparison between devotees and there is non-envious atmosphere, how are the dealings between devotees? Yes.
I'm enacting Ashutosh Das. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, in your colony we distributed 2,000 books during Srila Prabhupada Marathon.
That's great, Prabhu. How do you also expertly balance your material life and KC? We wish to learn from you. Also, next time when you go from book distribution, please take me also so that I can also learn the techniques from you.
No, Prabhu. This was a combined endeavor by husbands and wives. All the children were taken care by Vanprastha families. The prasadam for distribution were cooked by young unmarried girls of our team at their home. In this way, everybody participated in Srila Prabhupada book distribution for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure. It was all Krishna's miracle.
That was a powerful spirit. Krishna and Srila Prabhupada surely blessed all of you. I want to learn balance from how you balance between studying Srila Prabhupada books and distributing them at the same time. Your faces are so bright and like you are descending from Vaikuntha. I wish I learned that balance from you.
Prabhu, our counselor has told us that unless we complete 5 hours of reading Srila Prabhupada books every week, we'll not be able to go out for this. So we all made groups in the evenings, studied Srila Prabhupada books for 45 minutes per day, and then went out for book distribution.
That's a great plan. You must be surely sincere to keep up such a nice regulation and good habit. Please bless me that our team also will learn from this habit from all of you. I'm feeling jolly to have met all of you. Great Srila Prabhupada book distributors.
Whatever we do is all ultimately done by Krishna. Please bless us that we will not become proud of our accomplishments, Prabhu. We just shared with you our scores with the hope to please you. Honestly, we have a long way to go in cultivating humble Vaishnava attitude like you.
No, your humble attitude is the cause of your empowerment in this wonderful mission of Lord Chaitanya in distributing mercy to the masses by distributing Srila Prabhupada books. You are my role model. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
So we just saw this healthy comparison between devotees and not having envy. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if you see in one of his texts, he says that the person who is without envy, firstly he will accept his precarious condition and he will be offenseless. Of course, he'll have the courage and humility to accept whatever his condition is, and when he is non-envious, the result is that he'll be more absorbed in Krishna consciousness. He will not be deviated from the goal of his life. Also, he will have respect to the previous acharyas and he'll depend on their causeless mercy. And without envy, if a person who's non-envious, his heart will be very soft and fertile to accept the knowledge that has been given by the Guru Parampara, which will of course purify his heart also. Also, when a person is non-envious, non-enviousness brings liberation and enviousness brings entanglement. आप ना फंसते चले जाओगे उस आपके अहंकार में आप बहुत फंसते चले जाओगे. Also, it will help him to free him from his false pride. And the person who is non-envious, his heart will be full of gratitude. And there is a saying, if you're not grateful, you're a great fool. So that's how this non-envious attitude, and what Mataji said, in Shri Krishna says in the 9th chapter, the first shloka, he says, I am giving you this knowledge because you're non-envious. So if we really want to study the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita and delve deep into the, Shastras, we need to have this non-envious attitude, and we can slowly and steadily develop this non-envious attitude by associating with those devotees who do not have envy. So over to you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. I'll share one real pastime of Srila Prabhupada's disciple. I'm sure you must have heard Radhakund Mataji. And there's a pastime between Radhakund Mataji and Mahamuni Prabhu. Mahamuni Prabhu is the best book distributor. And even Radhakund Mataji also. So when Radhakund Mataji, there's which temple, it's happened in the Western country, but which temple I can't recollect. So Mahamuni Prabhu he was a best books distributor in that temple. And due to some reason, he was not in the temple. So that is the time Radhakund Mataji joined temple. And she has been told to do book distribution. And she was very new. She was, so she went to the place where exactly Mahamuni Prabhu used to go and do book distribution. So she went there and she was doing book distribution, and all the books she sold. And so she was in the morning, as usual, in our temple book score they did announce. So every day it was announcing, and then one fine day Mahamuni Prabhu came and he was hearing that Radhakund Mataji did a massive book distribution. He was very surprised, but he was not liking it actually. He was feeling little envious. He was not like, but he was feeling little this thing. Then he went to his place, his zone, it's very exactly the book distribution. He went there and he was doing, but it's not a single book he could distribute it. He came back and then he told Mataji, you go today. I am not feeling too good. You go ahead. The same place Mataji went, and he wanted to see how Radhakund Mataji is selling books. He wanted to see that. See, he was hiding behind the tree and he was watching, and he saw Radhakund Mataji was taking Srila Prabhupada books, and she was in tears. She was crying. Literally, she was in tears and she was crying. Please take these books. It's very urgent. My spiritual master told me, very urgent. Please take this book. Please read this book. World is in trouble. Please take these books. And every time she was like, actually she wasn't from heart, she's giving those books, and she was crying. And then when Mahamuni Prabhu saw that, he understood, this is coming from her heart. She's not doing any technique or anything, she's using it. So when Mahamuni Prabhu understood and he asked for forgiveness, actually he was envious, he asked for forgiveness. Till today, Mahamuni Prabhu said, when I go to Vrindavan and I see Mataji, she's doing book distribution, Srila Prabhupada Samadhi, quietly from behind I go and pay obeisances to her. I feel that she deserved this. Because I was feeling so envious about it, but now I'm no more envious about it. But I feel so good whenever I see her. Without her knowledge, but I definitely, without fail, I pay obeisances to her. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now we saw what are the symptoms of envious person and what are the effects of being envious to someone. So now let us discuss about solutions and how to get rid of envy. This is basically for me, so that I understand something and I imbibe something. So one is we pray to deities. We pray while chanting. This I read from the document shared by His Grace Radheshyam Prabhuji, that we pray while chanting intensely to get rid of this envy. And we associate with devotees who are having this quality of non-enviousness and appreciating other devotees genuinely. And also thirdly, we, as written in Srimad Bhagavatam, that when we hear and chant the glories of the Lord, we get rid of this mentality of being envy towards others. And like our heart is like, we have to make our heart soft-hearted. Envy makes our heart hard-hearted. So in soft heart, like, जैसे बंजर जमीन होती है, बंजर जमीन में जितना भी पानी डाल दो या जितना भी सूरज की रोशनी दे दो, सनलाइट में रख दो, लेकिन उसमें पौधे नहीं उग सकते। तो बंजर जमीन को सॉफ्ट बनाना होगा, उसको न्यूट्रिएंट्स रिच बनाना होगा। तो ये सॉफ्ट और न्यूट्रिएंट्स रिच बनाने के लिए वी हैव टू बेग फॉर द मर्सी ऑफ द लॉर्ड, वी हैव टू genuinely appreciate devotees, and when this happens, when we are free of envy, then Lord showers that mercy upon us. और ये जो भक्ति है, भक्ति is actually given as a gift. हम लोग अपना endeavor करते हैं, but it ultimately depends on the Lord's mercy upon us, and that mercy comes when we become pure-hearted, free of envy. Then Lord showers that mercy, and then there's a cycle कि हमारा heart और pure होता है, फिर भगवान और mercy देते हैं और pure, and then this cycle continues, and we then gradually advance on this path of devotional life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any questions?
माता जी, आई जस्ट वांट टू नो कि आपने अभी जो बोला कि जो पर्सन एनवियस होता है दूसरे से, तो आप मुझे मैं पर्सनल है मेरा ये क्वेश्चन कि वो हम उससे एनवियस हो रहे हैं, क्या इसमें सिर्फ हमारी गलती है? क्या उसका बिहेवियर ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है कि हम उससे एनवियस हो रहे हैं?
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन. बहुत कुछ हमारे पे ही डिपेंडेंट होता है, because we ourselves are responsible for our own spiritual lives. We are own. See, when I said envy, right? सो हमें किसी से भी, एक चींटी से भी एनवी नहीं करना है. वी डोंट हैव टू इवन एनवी ant. Okay, you know, why is she only eating sweets and I am diabetic? So we don't have to envy anybody. If there is a difference of opinion, आप बैठ के solve कर सकते हो. But मोटा मोटी मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि बैठ के जितना भी आप solve करोगे ना, बहुत सारा solutions आपको वहीं पे निकल जाएगा. Sometimes it is our perception also. Or maybe she's envying me, you know. Maybe I have this quality and she's envying, but she might be not envying also. ये जो दिमाग है ना, ये बहुत खराब है. ये हमारा दोस्त नहीं, ये हमारा दुश्मन है. तो इसको जब हमारा दोस्त बना देते हैं, when we make this mind a friend, we will see only positivity everywhere. Otherwise, we only see negativity everywhere. So, when you're studying the Shastras and you're associating with those devotees, they are giving you positive energy. And when you take that positive energy, then you will become non-envious and your perception will also change. कि हाँ, maybe, you know, I'm thinking that she's envious of me, but she's not envious of me. ठीक है ना माता जी? हरे कृष्णा.
99% टाइम्स ऐसा होता है कि हम जो सोचते हैं वो नहीं होता है, दूसरे अपोजिट पर्सन के जो नेगेटिव सोचते हैं. सो इट इज अवर माइंड दैट क्रिएट्स दैट बलून.
जैसा अभी आपने जो भी बोला, ये सिर्फ मोटा मोटी
एक्शन,
वो 101 पर्सनल पे सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा हमें.
ग्राउंड नहीं, अगर हम जनरल टेम्पल में रहते हैं या डिवोटीज एसोसिएशन में रहते हैं, तो ऐसे बहुत बार होता है कि बहुत सारे जो लोग हैं जिनको एक अथॉरिटी करके चूज किया गया है एंड वी हैव टू वर्क अंडर देम, तो उन लोगों का बिहेवियर ऐसे होता है कि जो उनके अंडर काम कर रहे हैं या उनके टीम मेंबर्स है ना, वो ये भी बता नहीं सकते हैं कि यू आर रॉन्ग, क्योंकि उनको ये बोल के रोक दिया जाता है कि अपराध मत कीजिए. आप मॉर्निंग में आरती में 10 अपराध बोलते हो ना, तो किसी को कुछ बोलिए मत, और इस तरह बोलकर शांत कर दिया जाता है. तो मेरा यही क्वेश्चन है कि जैसे उन लोगों से भी जो है गलतियां होती है, तो वो रीजन होता है जो बाकी के साथ में जो डिवोटीज है वो एनवियस नहीं बोल सकते, एक प्रकार से थोड़ा नाराजगी रहती है उनके प्रति.
यस, तो माता जी ऐसे केस में हमें जाके एक वैष्णव तरीके से उनसे जाके क्लियर करनी है कि ये ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, हमसे कहीं कुछ गलती हुई है क्या जो हमारी तरफ ऐसा बिहेव किया उन्होंने, या गुस्सा दिखाया, या जो भी है. तो हम एक वैष्णव तरीके से जाके उनसे पूछ सकते हैं और उनसे क्षमा मांग सकते हैं. अगर हमसे कभी कुछ गलती हुई हो तो हमें माफ कर देना. और उसके बावजूद भी हम देख रहे हैं कि कोई अगर रिपीटेडली ऐसे कर रहा है, तो देन माता जी अगर किसी का नेचर ऐसा है तो हमें थोड़ा डिस्टेंस बना के रखना होगा ऐसे पर्सन से. एक रिस्पेक्टेबल डिस्टेंस. इसका मतलब रिस्पेक्टेबल डिस्टेंस का मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम अपने मन में उनके लिए कुछ नेगेटिविटी हार्बर करें, वो नहीं रखना है, क्योंकि वो हमारे लिए ही अच्छा नहीं है. इट इज नॉट गुड फॉर अस. सो व्हाट वी डू कि ओके, उसका एक पर्टिकुलर नेचर है जिसकी वजह से हम लोग जेल नहीं कर पा रहे, हमारी केमिस्ट्री नहीं मैच हो पा रही है, तो मैं एक डिस्टेंस रखूंगी. मैं कभी उसके लिए मन में कुछ गलत फीलिंग्स ना रखते हुए वो जब मिलेंगे तो मैं उनको रिस्पेक्ट करूंगी.
किसी का और कोई प्रश्न है? You're right. You're very much right. Sometimes envy is very subtle.
We are not even able to identify.
Sometimes envy, so for that you have to keep on praying. That even if I have some subtle envy, Krishna, while, chanting, you just pray to Krishna. That mera subtle envies also, because these subtle envies only pile up and they become gross. They come into your actions and words and, all these things. So that is why you have to keep on praying that let me not have envy towards any living entity. Prayers is such a thing that it has so much power that it can move mountains also. So just we can pray to the Supreme Lord. We can pray to our spiritual masters. We can pray to the Supreme Lord. And please help me get out of this anartha. You can sing Narshing Aarti also.
Hare Krishna. Could you shed little light on the relationship between ego and envy?
Yeah, sure. So, ego, when you have ego, you are trying to put down somebody. And in ego, there is an element of, pride also. I am great. He's, not great, or she is not great. And in that only, because see, when we say about true ego and false ego, true ego means I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. False ego means I am the master, right? But when we say envy, Then envy has, I told you, is judgmental. You keep on judging everybody. And that is why the person who does not have gratitude prior will be envious. But the one who has, gratitude, he will not be envious to a greater, extent. वो gratitude जितना जितना बढ़ता जाएगा, envy उतना उतना नीचे आता जाएगा. True ego जितना जितना बढ़ता जाएगा, false ego भी उतना उतना नीचे आता जाएगा. So then this is the, like, I hope you want to add something.
Yeah, there is false ego bodily platform pe. Of course, we all are on the bodily platform, but we have to try to rise above that. At least intellectually, we know that we are not this body. So intelligently, actually, we are convinced that we are not this body. Yes, mind tries to trap us again and again, but then keep reminding ourselves that because we are having this false ego and we identify everything around us based on this bodily platform, that is why we have that envy. And plus also because envy is nothing but an extended envy towards living entities, because we are envious of Krishna. So when we see those opulences manifested in living entities around, we get envious to them.
See, even subtly, abhi bhi na, I'm envying Krishna. Means I'm talking about myself. Still the time I'm not pure, I'm still envying Krishna. I'm still envying my even preceptors also. So ये जो envy है ना, इसको by only association of devotees and prayers to the previous acharyas and Krishna तही निकलेगी, वरना बहुत difficult है envy को निकालना.
Even Mataji, chanting.
हाँ वही chanting.
The chanting is very important, very powerful. I have seen, because I my personal said, since lockdown, I started my, by 7, my mala, 16 rounds over. And now I'm seeing the changes. I'm not saying I'm become a great devotee, but thing is that maturity, that Krishna consciousness, the feeling, I can feel the changes in me. I am being with the corporate people. Now I'm going and meeting them. And I feel that, I'm being with them, but I don't want to become like them. Every day I'm praying to Krishna, because I know I have to meet them. I have to, I can tell you, very recently I joined some business networking group. I'm going and meeting them. And I still remember one lecture, Radheshyam Prabhuji, when you meet them, just come home, first thing you take shower, because you're meeting this all non-devotee people. And that's, I'm telling you, the first thing when envious also has come from about devotee, about, when we feel about devotee, among devotee, if I feel envious about devotee, first thing I should ask myself, something lacking in my sadhana. My chanting is not happening properly.
Also, Lekha was asking one question that envy is subtle. लेकिन envy को निकालने के लिए उसको opposite किया जा सकता है. So, for example, I envy a particular person and I praise that person. See, praise also should not be artificial praise. It should come really from the heart, that really you admire this person's quality. So, when you really want to remove your envy towards that particular person, start hunting good qualities consciously. Make a list. Okay, I'm envying this person. Okay, on what basis I'm envying? Okay, this. But she must be having more qualities than what, she must be not having. So, aapki jo good qualities ki list will be more than the bad qualities. So, this is also, Ramban Ilaj. Iska.
Mataji, I just want to add that Suresh Prabhu is sitting here. He has one habit that whoever he meets, he first appreciates that person and then he starts talking to them. So, I have seen him appreciating.
More questions? Any more questions?
I just want to say that thank you for putting up these questions, and these are all actually for me personally, for all of this group. So thank you so much.
Yeah, this group was the one which was well before time.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. जय श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, श्रीनिवास पद्मावती वेंकटेश्वर बालाजी की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Some of the devotees may be joining on Zoom, I believe, today. Is it? How many?
Around 20 around are already.
Correct, yeah. Because it's a very rainy day, it's drizzling today. I'm sure they'll be curious about the results. Mostly this meeting and I will both, I think, last two groups, I think. Likely that some of us might have forgotten that presentation a little bit because some time has elapsed. Nevertheless, I have noted the points, we can discuss them, they're very important. Did you send the notes to all the devotees? Did I send you this SRCGD full notes?
Full notes was already sent.
I'll send to them, yeah. When they read the notes, they will get little more things than what we're briefly discussing here. This is the fourth group, glad group. Feeling glad upon seeing others' advancement, correct, no? So, the content evaluation, I have written smart beginning with a demo on envy. One lady seeing another saree. I think they were showing a small skit kind of thing. Not only she is feeling envy, she is speaking also, I think, outside, correct, no? Interspersing skit with philosophy makes the whole presentation quite interesting. So they were doing sort of skit, and in between put a break and then explain little philosophy. They did like that. Very interesting it was. And while presenting quite a bit about unhealthy comparison, which many devotees know, it is equally important to talk about what is healthy, and some Sastric examples like Yudhishthir, Prahalad and Parikshit, those like that I have written. I have given some input here. You see, many times we can give unhealthy comparison examples which people can quickly resonate with. And people can understand, yes, that's actually the problem. Yeah. You clearly, captured it, they may say. But then we also have to offer some solution to that. Without the solution, their minds will be filled with negativity only. So, for example, Prahalad is being glorified by Narada to Yudhishthir. And after hearing that, Yudhishthir, he also starts praising Prahalad, telling Narada that, what a great devotee Prahalad is. And in comparison to Prahalad, we have no devotion. So then, seeing that, Narada feels that Yudhishthir needs to be little appreciated and encouraged. He is also not ordinary devotee. Then he tells Yudhishthir that, Yuyam deloke batapuri bhaga. That's a famous verse. Yuyam deloke batapuri bhaga lokam punana munayo biyanti. Like that he says. So the Supreme Lord, who usually doesn't go to any place unless he is attracted with love, he comes to your palace to live with all of you Pandavas and spend time with you. And all the rishis, munis in the forest are queuing, standing in a long queue to take his darshan in your palace, Indraprastha. Therefore, your Indraprastha palace has turned into a temple. Just like in NVCC temple, people are sometimes in a big crowd to take darshan. Like that. So he is glorifying Yudhishthira as a great devotee. Similarly, Parikshit also, when he heard Shukadeva Goswami, he told that, oh, Yadus are so fortunate. Vajpatis are so fortunate. But me, I am not fortunate, he said. Why? Because, Krishna didn't take birth in our lineage. Krishna took birth in Yadu's dynasty. And also, he's connected to both Yadus and Vrishnis, Yadus, and also from this side, Vasudev. And so he's connected to both sides, Dwaraka also and Mathura also. So Parikshit felt we are nowhere. Then Shukadeva Goswami told, although Lord actually is Yadava, but he spent more time with Pandavas. He says, so you Pandavas are more fortunate, which is better. Like for example, Devaki begot Krishna, but Yashoda saw Krishna's pastimes, witnessed all the childhood pastimes. So who is more fortunate? So Devaki is saying Yashoda is more fortunate. Similarly, Lord was born in the Yadu dynasty, but he didn't spend as much time with Yadus as much he did with Pandavas in Hastinapur as well as in forest also. So in this way, these are all great souls who see good in others. Yudhishthir, Parikshit and all. So they're non-envious people. So we also should have such shining non-envious examples for us to emulate and adore. So let us give a non-envious example of one Mataji, who is Suniti. So Suniti and Suruchi, they were co-wives of the same king. But Suniti did not claim equal treatment from Uttanapada. That is her first greatness. Any wife would have demanded the husband that, how can you give her more importance than me? See, my child is crying and you are keeping her child on your lap. How can you do this pakshapat? Did she go to fight? She didn't go to fight. That's the first thing, non-envy. Then you find when the child came crying to her, Dhruva, many mothers, they talk ill of others and pollute the mind of the child. And that is the reason why sometimes you see some children, after hearing their mother, their dealing towards stepmother changes behavior. You will see that. As soon as your stepmother, they will see like this. Because how did they develop such a poisonous attitude? Because of hearing from the mother, correct? No? Whereas she told Dhruva that your stepmother told you that you go to Vishnu and pray to Vishnu to give a body from her womb. So her telling you to go to Vishnu is not wrong. Huh? So you better go to forest and see Lord Vishnu. And in this way, she gave him a positive program without feeling envy for her co-wife. That's second speciality of Suniti. Later, you don't see her either quarreling with Uttanapad or with Suruchi after Dhruva was gone to the forest. We don't hear anything, no shloka about it in the Bhagavata. Then Dhruva perfects his life and is going to return back. At that time, Suniti is going in a palanquin, palki. She's telling Suruchi, you also come and sit with me. She's taking her in the same palki. Both of them are going together. So Prabhupada says, Suniti is a great mother of a great devotee. He says, her son was a great devotee, she was also great. So both of them went back to Vaikuntha together, mother and son. And see that due to non-envy. Prabhupada says it's very rare to find someone like Suniti, completely non-malicious. Even after Dhruva attained success, she didn't feel proud, nor did she ridicule Suruchi, nor did she take upper hand. She maintained her humility and simplicity and non-duplicity and dealt with her very courteously, and gave her respect when she was going to forest. This is not an ordinary thing. This is very, very difficult. She is completely non-envious. Some devotees have such a simple heart. They are very innocent and non-envious. They don't become diplomatic or political or anything. They're just very simple devotees. Some devotees are innocent and non-envious. Yeah. In my travels in West, I found many of the Westerners are very simple. Whatever is there, they just tell in the mouth, frankly. They don't keep anything, not one thing here, one thing here, one thing here, and another thing here. Correct, na? We say, a honey tongue with a heart of poison, we say, no? It's not like that. They're very honest and frank, and so that could be one of the reasons why when Prabhupada went, they could relate with Prabhupada and connect and take to Krishna consciousness, develop faith. And of course, Prabhupada says Europeans who went to America, they are actually pious souls who entered America because they wanted a facility where they can do the religious activities without hindrance. And the original intention of entering America was that. But eventually it turned out to be a materialistic country for a period of time. So, of course, in every country you have people who are materialistic and envious. More we are materialistic, the more we become envious. Because Prabhupada says Griha Medi and Grihastha. What is the difference he says? Medi means like a pole around which the bull goes round and round. That's called Medi, we call it. So Griha Medi means a person is, for him the home is everything, and they become envious of other married householders. Oh, they have a bigger car, we don't have a big car. They have a bigger house, we have a smaller house. They conducted marriage so opulently. So I will also take a big loan and do a big marriage for my daughter to show them that we are also in par with them. Correct, no? This kind of envy people feel in married life. So, unka beta America gaya, hamare bete ko bhejna America. Because we want to show that, if my brother's son is going to America, then if I don't send, what will happen to my reputation in the family? Things like that. So, comparing themselves with others, feeling envy for others and feeling malicious intention in dealing with others. So those things actually poison our heart, you see. So in this way, I have written the point that give some positive examples also. Those who are, recently my spiritual master was speaking Balram Jayanti lecture. He was telling that in the spiritual world, people are simply non-envious. So he was telling that all the devotees, they love one another and they respect each other and they always wish well for others. And, they love everyone. Just like Krishna loves all jivas. Like that, all the jivas love every other jiva also. They always wish well for others. So he said, unlike the material world where people wish bad for others or try to make unhealthy comparison towards others like that. Yeah. So, okay, that was the third point. Fourth point, nice and apt shloka quotes like Dharma Projita, Idam Tate Kushyatamam and all, they quoted nicely. Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. There is a certain time when we try to practice non-envious nature, especially with outsiders. Many a time we tend to first not glorify the materialistic situation, and we try to have a neutral opinion. But gradually, in terms of praising them, that how they are doing good. Certain time, again, that materialistic theme may also come in us. So, in terms of becoming, trying to practice a principle of non-enviousness, certain time materialism may come inside our own heart because we have to associate with them when we are with them. So, how do we tackle while practicing non-enviousness at the same time being rooted in the core spiritual aspect?
Yeah. One thing is, Prabhupada says in the material world, praise and criticism are same. In the material world, both are envy. Prabhupada says. How criticism is envy, we know, but how praise is also envy. For example, you see your friend has a costly car, Tesla car. You only have Maruti car. And he may say, "Oh, even in India you got a Tesla car. You are a great soul." Somebody is appreciating. But Prabhupada says, why you are adoring him? Because you also want same car. Yeah. So that's why it's jealousy. That somebody has what I want. Therefore I praise it. Yeah. So that's why it's also one kind of envy only. Or you criticize somebody, he's making a big show off. We all are having Maruti car and he's having a Tesla car. I think he wants to show off to us. That is also criticism. So either criticism or praise in the material platform is both envy. So on the other hand, in the spiritual platform, both criticism, we don't call it criticism or correction, we can say, feedback or correction or appreciation, both can be non-envy. Say, for example, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying some Vaishnava in the Mahaprakash Leela, everybody else said, Jai, Jai, they said, correct, no? They're all very happy about it, They saw that Krishna is manifesting through this devotee so nicely, Some devotee speaks well, some devotee sings well, some devotee cooks well, some devotee dances well, some devotee distributes books well, some devotee can, make garland well. And so, whoever does whatever service well, the devotee thinks that, that Shakti is manifesting in this devotee by Krishna's and Guru's grace. That means this devotee has attracted that grace of Guru and Krishna. So, he's a wonderful devotee, special devotee. There is one Mahotsaha Prabhu, in America, Atlanta. In one day, he can distribute like 3,000 books. And that too hand to hand, standing in shopping malls and other things. He's the world #1 distributor. So, when we see such good souls expertly doing something, we have to honestly appreciate rather than try to pick faults with anybody. Like, there is one devotee in Mayapur, the Radha Madhav deity, worshipping devotee, tall devotee, he must be worshipping them more than 40 years, 35, 40 years at least. Because I have seen him from 92, 93, I have seen. Daily same person. You all have seen that? Radha Madhav worshipping person. Huh? Morning Mangalarti. So I heard that even if he has fever, he still takes a bath and comes and worships the Lord and then goes and takes rest afterwards. Very, very dedicated devotee. So one thing that we all, I think, can cultivate is every day at least open your eyes wide open, look around and give some 5 compliments to 5 different devotees like this. So make an effort to give some compliment and appreciation to devotees. Something that you felt in your heart, something nice, don't keep it with you. Give it to the devotee. Appreciate that. That will become a sanskar for you, habit for you. Then naturally your mind will tend to go towards something good in others rather than, And also when you honestly appreciate, that envy goes away. But if you don't appreciate, in your mind you appreciate, that turns into a seed of envy. For example, some devotee did something very wonderful, you appreciated it. But in the mind you appreciated, you didn't go and openly appreciate. Then mind keeps churning it. Why, how this fellow is doing this well and so many people are appreciating. I am also doing, but nobody is appreciating. Why only that devotee is appreciated? Where is he getting the power from? Is he doing this? And so mind starts churning inside. And then that can gradually turn into a seed of envy. Instead of that, you go straight to the devotee and appreciate the devotee. Yes. Yeah. No, the material level also, see, if you are a spiritual person, then even while appreciating a material quality, you can do it with a desire that may this appreciation bring them one step closer to Krishna. Say, for example, one mother and father came and told me that, their daughter got 94% in 10th standard. And mother and father are just now coming in. They are signing 1 or 2 rounds. And the daughter is not a devotee yet. But they brought the daughter. They said, we came to thank the Lord in the temple. They told the daughter to bow down to the Lord and say thank you for the marks. So, of course, I gave them some prasad. And I told the daughter that you're very intelligent, that you got 94%, not a very easy thing. And if you chant Hare Krishna 1 round, you're even more intelligent. Because Arjuna had a combination of material and spiritual. He did his Swadharma fighting well, but he also was friend of Krishna. Similarly, if you want to make God your friend, then you should chant every day 1 round. So then our appreciation was encouraging that girl, and then she immediately said, 1 round I can definitely do now. My 10th is over now. I can do now. So you can appreciate someone's material qualification and use it as an impetus to bring them closer in spiritual life. You can do that. Then it can be spiritualized. Then we are not just appreciating only the mundane thing, correct? No? And then here, okay, and then 5th point, His Grace Radhakund Mataji's expertise and His Grace Mahamani Prabhu feeling competition or envy pastime was a very constructive solution and was very inspiring and can motivate devotees to rise above envy. That is a very nice pastime. I think who said that? Shamla Mataji or Dila Mataji said? Who said? Tulsipriya Mataji said that. Correct. That was very nice. Yeah. Okay. Okay. She was telling Mahamani Prabhu saw the dedication of Radhakund Mataji and later on expressed to her that I am feeling some competition with you and we're seeing your dedication and everything. And then later on that got dissolved, she was telling. So, because he honestly and openly appreciated. So, and then the call for action, praying to deity, associating with devotees, glorifying Lord, begging for mercy of Lord, genuinely appreciating devotees. That was a very good conclusion. Every team can learn to do like this, I have written. So the call for action is very, very important one because it's like the doctor who diagnoses you for half an hour. But what is the most important thing? Prescription. Without that, you just meet the doctor, you had a nice chat and came back. Then the disease doesn't get cured. You need the call for action. So this group gave a very good call for action. And then in the drama, clarity in speech is good. And also, nice points were brought out about unhealthy comparison. Modulation was perfect and enthusiastic. I think this group was a very bold group, I think. They did the drama with great enthusiasm and dynamism. Something about how devotees can learn to appreciate other book distributors without feeling or bringing out envy. Needs some explanation with some practical steps. Yeah, so this I was telling that when you do a drama, the learnings from the drama are very, very important. Like two devotees are talking. One is feeling envy that other group has distributed a lot of books and everything. So after one skit ends, there is a negative skit, there is a positive skit. So one has to put a break and then make the audience reflect on the thing. Okay, you saw the skit now. What did you understand on this? What do you infer? What did you feel about it? You just give a few moments, many will come up with lessons. At least I can think of 4 or 5 lessons. One is, if you all remember the drama, that devotee right from the beginning was very closed. When this fellow was coming and saying, we distributed 2000 books, immediately like a snake of envy came up. And then he said, distributing books is a great thing, but first you have to, your sadhana should be good, he said. So which means one of the lessons we learned from the drama is, he is coming up with one new excuse to blame them. That's the way the envy works, like multiple hooded Kaliya. One hood comes, Krishna puts it down, then another one comes, like that. So he is bringing new excuses to blame the devotees and not appreciate the good work they have done. Finally, they cleared all of it. Then what he said, ठीक है, जो भी हमसे होता है करने वाले तो भगवान है. अब भगवान को क्रेडिट देना चाहिए. अगर हम खुद क्रेडिट लेकर अहंकार बढ़ जाएगा हमारा, he was saying, फूंक कर something he was telling, you will just go, correct, no? So that means, this fellow was completely, his nose was cut. It was proven that, they didn't do any mistake. So he couldn't find any fault. Still he said, you are proud, he said. So that was very, very unreasonable mindset it is. A very, very bad mindset. So somebody can say that he's just pointing fingers by giving glib excuses out of envy. That's one thing. And another thing we can say about that drama is, when somebody comes and joyfully tells some great thing that they have done, many Vaishnavas are very innocent like children. They sometimes do something wonderful and they're looking for somebody to share. Not that they want to put you down. Like imagine if some Vaishnava comes and says, oh, do you know I distributed today 200 books. Then immediately he may ask, so you mean to say I am lazy, just sleeping here, not doing anything? He will say, I never said that. I am only telling you, I had gone out with Prabhupada's books today. So many books went today. Because we went to one temple where some festival is going on. Big crowd was there. We distributed so many books today. I just wanted to share it with somebody. So imagine if it was some other positive devotee, you will say, wow, 200 books in one day. It's a miracle. Great, Prabhu. And that too, morning you all went, by afternoon you came back, 200 books. I think Prabhupada will be dancing in ecstasy. Something like that he expected back from us, correct, no? So, in this drama we find name calling and blaming and criticizing and putting down, discouraging. So, those habits are very dangerous and bad habits. We should actually learn from the drama what not to do. Yeah.
For others, it's okay, like if they're sharing their good things, we should appreciate. But like I myself have this habit of always sharing, and sometimes I feel good or not good to share, because sometimes it looks like, okay, I'm looking for appreciation. Yeah. I might be internally...
Actually, who can say that we don't want appreciation? Any of you raise the hand, you don't look for any appreciation from anybody. Your mind is always resonating with Ashlishyava, Padaratam, Pinashtumam. Is there anybody here like that? Think about it. One time I went to my spiritual master and asked him, Maharaj, the ultimate verse of the Shikshashtaka is what? Ashli Shiva Padaratam. But I have never seen you quoting in your lectures that verse. You always quote Trinada Peshanichana. Maharaj said, yes, what you're saying is true, he said. Because people are not ready for Trinadapi only now. If I go to Ashri Shava, they'll faint only. He said, that is too big expectation. So let them begin with Trinadapi Shanichana, he was telling. So, it is a fact that the Jiva has expectation from others that some reciprocation should come. That is expectation. I'll tell you one simple thing. You write a mail to somebody, you don't get reply at all. 3 months passed, you didn't get reply. In your mind, you will automatically decode that this fellow has not seen my mail. But even if the other person has seen the mail, but after having seen the mail also some people don't reply because they are thinking about it. So what can they do? They can reply back saying that, hacham, ... That much if they put. That means they are thinking, acknowledging that I've seen your mail, I'm thinking about it, I'll tell you. Even that will give you some satisfaction. Like when I write to my spiritual master, recently I glorified one of his lectures, which he had given, and I wrote all the points, some 8-10 points I wrote. These points you spoke in Kolhapur. I wrote all those points. Appreciated. And then I asked about initiation also, when is the possibility of initiation in Pune, and all that. So, and I saw the name Radhanath Swami in my box. Immediately I went and opened it because he has replied. I thought, what is the reply? Only one hand was like this. That much only has put, nothing else. But at least even that small gesture gave me a lot of happiness. That means he has read the mail. At least one symbol he has put. Correct, no? Good happiness. Similarly, sometimes people ask me 5-6 questions or something, and I have written elaborate answers. And then after that, they don't even respond saying the rest of the answers were fitting. I got some this thing. So some people actually are non-responsive. Correct, no? So in our life, we definitely expect, some pat on the back. That's one of the reasons why we go and report also. Anybody, why do we report? Because when they report, they will see the report and say, wow, you have done this. It's such a wonderful thing. It is such a difficult thing you did. And we feel that, okay, because we cannot get reciprocation from Krishna directly so easily. Between us and Krishna, we need somebody who can... actually, there are people, even if I give them some feedback also, till they feel very happy. I asked, why are you happy after getting feedback? They said, Roji, at least you give feedback. Nobody gives that also nowadays. Everybody is super busy. Even giving a feedback means you have read what I have sent. Correct? You have read and also you are giving some comments to modify it. So I am as happy as you have appreciated me because you have read what I am doing. So many people nowadays in our movement are starving for some senior attention, where somebody will overlook what they are doing and say you are doing right, you are doing wrong, you have to modify it like this or give suggestions. There are some people who say, I don't want to mention names. There's one Maharaj, anything you send a long mail, he will say, sounds good. That's all you write, 1 or 2 words only. And then he'll say, great, with one exclamation. That's all. Now I will ask, what is great? Which one is great? I send many things. This is great or that is great? What is it? So, it's not wrong to expect appreciation because the soul in his original nature also has a tendency to not only love Krishna but also receive love back, receive reciprocation back from Krishna also. It is there. We actually want fulfillment. We don't want pampering. But when fulfillment is not happening in the heart, then you want pampering. Pampering is condemnable, not very good. Because when you are not pampered, you become depressed. Whereas fulfillment comes from seeing the beloved satisfied with what we are making an effort to do. So, and that fulfillment is a very, very vital thing for our survival and growth and nourishment and everything. We need that fulfillment. I also feel that we don't need somebody to glorify us beyond what we have done, and that will be like flattery. That won't satisfy us. On the other hand, somebody genuinely appreciates what you have done and also gives some inputs to improve. This you did well and this you can improve. It gives a lot of satisfaction because you know that the person is not flattering, is genuine. Yes, Prabhu. Is the mic turn?
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. You rightly expressed that the way it happens with me also. We write so many elaborate things and then people don't respond. So how do we should take it? And very rarely that people will get reply from you so elaborately, but 90% or more than that people don't respond, or they'll say just yes, or they're like that.
Yeah.
So how do we should take that? And we should prepare before writing also. We should prepare. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Actually, now people are getting so many messages nowadays. Many of them don't even see also. Like in WhatsApp, for example, recently we had one complaint in our Hyderabad temple that we invite counselors for a Zoom meeting or something. Only 1/3 or so responds. And the second 1/3 people, if you call them on phone, then they may come. And the third 1/3, if you call also, they don't pick up the phone call also, like that. So then they are going to have a Zoom meeting now with all the leaders. So what do you want us to do? If you want to invite you for a meeting, when will you come and everything? So then one of them mentioned very nicely, Babaji, don't send WhatsApp message about meetings because we have so much overwhelming WhatsApp messages. We don't see at all. They said nowadays we don't even get to see because too many groups. If you put your important meeting in the WhatsApp message, it will not reach us. Then they asked them what to do. They said, give a call. You give a call and tell us meeting is there. Or you can give a call and say that you sent a message. Correct? It makes sense. Similarly, the emails also, in a similar fashion, people may neglect. One thing you can do is you give a call to the person and say, I want a meeting with you. He may say, why don't you send me a mail? He says, I already sent you a mail. Because you are not responding, therefore I want a meeting, you can say. They say, oh, no meeting now. I'll better reply the mail. Huh? Reply, correct, no? Calling is helpful. But sometimes person doesn't pick up the call also. Then you have to find out somebody around that person who may be around. You call the person and then ask him to give the mobile to him. Correct, no? Actually, in the Vedic times, what happened? People lived in one village. And a small group of people, maybe 1,000, 2,000 people in a village. And the village was like one family. One girl is going to get married, whole village knew. One boy is getting a job, whole village knew. Somebody is starting some new business, whole village knew, like that. That's called a small village. And they don't know much about other villages. It's like a closed culture. Communication was not so much. But now with the modern day Wi-Fi, internet, devices and everything, it's called as global village. The whole globe has become one village. Everybody is connecting with everybody else. So 8 billion population. So it's like a memory overflow. We cannot handle. Too many people are connected. Too many people are connected to us and we are not able to respond to everybody. We have a human limit, no? We have a human limit also. Like now gurus, for example, they have 20,000, 30,000 disciples. How can they respond to everybody? If they write. It's very humanly impossible it is. In the Vedic times, there were, villages where Guru Mata and Guru were living. So in that village, they will never leave, like Sandipani Muni. Sandipani Muni and his wife, they lived in Avanti. And in Avanti, they had a Gurukul. And they may be Guru for the whole village. And that's all they have to worry about. They don't have to take an aeroplane and fly to another country. So everybody, ISKCON is also thinking of doing such a thing in future. Your guru will live in your own local place only. Like for example, some grihastha becomes a guru. They'll take it. Just like counseling groups. Like that. They are Shiksha Gurus only, that sense. Correct, no? If one counselor can give shelter to 200, 300 people, and also they're going to set the upper limit now for number of disciples. They can't exceed 300, I think, something like that. Yeah. Why? If you allow them to take too many disciples, then again the same problem. They can't give time. Correct, no? So the reciprocation, if it comes from the guru above, then people are very satisfied. Then they can go on and on. We need that. Pat on the back. Everybody needs that. Somebody may say, no, only small children need that. No. If you are very grown up, you also want at that level, or you want them to give you challenges. You want them to give you some adventurous services. Or you want them to do something like a Herculean task and then show you that they are capable of it. Or they want you to share something, what you are doing at your level. then these are all considered as giving dignity at that level. Grown-up people. So the expectation of a kid is different. Expectation of a little senior is different. Expectation of very grown-up devotees is much different. Like we have in Pune, people like Karnataka Prabhu, our Vansundar Prabhu and all, they are all coming up with their projects. They are going to start a temple and run the temple also. So similarly in the councillors also, Jayadev Satil Maharaj, people like that, they are all grown-up people. They have seen, they have begotten children, raised children, got them married, and they have guided 200-300 people, Karatna Jana Mataji and people like that, grown up. Now how can somebody appreciate them in their level? But even they call me. I get regular calls of Jayadev Prabhu and our Jana Mataji. Every bit of their activity they will tell me. Now you may say, Jana Mataji, she is so, senior. She is the mother of all mothers in Pune. But she will always tell me that, Prabhuji, I am reporting to you because our spiritual master is very senior, very busy. But I want to tell you what all I am doing, and if you want me to modify something, I will do it, she will say. So, when I know, naturally, when I go to different classes, I speak about her activities. And the others get very inspired. Oh, Jana Mataji, even in this age, she's doing so much. She's having so many classes in a week. 5-6 classes she's taking in a week. So, for people like me to know what others are doing is good, because I can spread the good word around. And I see Shankar Pandit and his good wife, they send me long, beautiful report with photos and Google Drive, videos and everything. So when I see that with their permission, sometimes I circulate to other leaders. So some leaders will tell me, Prabhuji, you always send me good activities of other people. What about my activities? Somebody asked. I said, I send your activity to them. Oh, that you never told me that you are sending. Then he said, I thought you are appreciating them more than me. He said, then I told him, no, I appreciate your activity, but I also want to tell you that you have something to learn from others also. I do that a lot. I get things from here and connect here. Like that, I connect preachers also, like girls preachers, Lekha Mataji. I connected you to Kushni Mataji, right? So there are people like that. Now she has friend in Kanpur. She is here now, but they both are connecting and replying. Similar Hyderabad girls preachers, many of them are connected to Pune girls preachers now. And they came here also for Yatra also. So this is one of my greatest joys, to connect preachers in different parts of the world. To be preachers in other places. And then they both develop great reverence for each other. They travel geographically to their locations, see what others are doing. And then there is one Bindu Mataji in Bhubaneswar. She's a big preacher. She has a lot of Matajis, preachers, and she's a train-the-trainer kind of lady. So when I came to Pune, I was speaking what I saw in Bhubaneswar, what they are doing. Then in this way, our movement will get stronger and stronger by devotees seeing each other, good in each other, appreciating each other rather than feel envy. So, like we have one program called ISKCON Leads, we call it. I Leads, we call it. So in that program, we take about 45 brahmachari leaders of ISKCON, generally. Mostly brahmacharis, 1 or 2 girls, the men. In that program, people like Amogilla Prabhu came, Sundar Gopal Prabhu came, people like that, many senior people also, presidents and vice presidents of the temples, that level people, and also department heads in those days we were taking. So these are all from different temples. From every temple we take 3, 3, 4, 4 only we take. Imagine 45 means how many? Almost like 10 temples. Then all of them become thick friends. They are all from different parts of India. They come together, stay in NVCC. Every day they have 8 hours association with each other. They attend classes. They do almost 15 courses they do. In 45 days. In those days we had 45 plus 45, 90 days we had. It was a little longer. Then we made it 60 days now. 30 plus 30 days, 2 times sitting. So Vamshivardhan Prabhu, me and as well as Bhakti Prabhat Bhagavat Maharaj, we 3 are a committee. So I am the chairman of the committee and Vamshivardhan Prabhu is the secretary. And Maharaj is the director. So we have been running this since 2014 or so, 2012 or so. One of the goals of this ISKCON Leads group is to bring leaders from different parts of India and create a strong lateral association of devotees from different temples. So Now, Antadi Prabhupada can go to so many temples. He knows devotees, just makes a phone call and goes there. Because they know each other well now. In this way, if all temples can do for congregations also, and Matajis also, if they do that, our India will become very strongly connected by that. And our students may go to another city. You just give a call and tell him, Prabhuji, please take care of that boy. You can say easily. Correct, no? And you also get appreciation from peers. Now these devotees are sending to each other. What this fellow is doing is sending to him, and what he is doing is sending to him, like that. They get peer association and peer encouragement also. Actually, peer encouragement is bigger encouragement actually. Like Gaurang Prabhu appreciates what I am doing, and I appreciate what Gaurang Prabhu is doing. That is very big, because to get appreciation from peer is not very easy, because peer is very frank. He will say, what's the big thing in this? You can ask, correct, no? But if a peer is honestly appreciating, you feel even more joy. So we need that type of appreciation, encouragement. Everybody needs that. So we were telling about the drama. Okay. Somebody is making noise. Something about how devotees can learn to appreciate other book distributors without feeling or being out. And we need some practical tips. Blessings of acharyas is good, but we need some tips for practical application. It is not enough to say the danger of envy. Of course, gratitude and association with non-envious devotees was given as a solution. See, two solutions they gave. One was that we cannot become free from envy without blessings of acharyas. But the problem is what? When you say blessings of acharyas, you are tying the hands and legs of the individual. You are saying, blessing aayega to aayega, nahi aayega to you are going to be envious only. Is it very helpful? That's not very helpful. So we have to give some empowering, practical solutions. Another thing they said was association with non-envious devotees. That is true for any good quality. You want to be humble, associate with those who are humble. You want to be enthusiastic, associate with those who are. And so Prabhupada said, if a drunkard, if a man meets a drunkard, he will also become drunkard, he said. And in the same manner, it depends on association. That's also right. But for non-envy, there are many other tips which can be given. One of the things we said is, directly and honestly appreciate. So good in others. As a duty, you do it in the beginning. When you do it as a duty, eventually it will become natural for you. That's one thing we can do. And also learning to pray to the deities. Amar Jivan Sada Paperat Nahi Ko Punyera Lesha Parere Vadvega Diyachi Ekata Diyachi Jivera Klesha. So in that song he says, Himsa Garva Vibhushana, he's saying. I am the two earrings I wear. What are they? Himsa and Garva, he says. Pride and violence. Either he's saying. So he's saying, I am violent towards other devotees, I am envious of others. He's saying, Parere Udvega Diyachi. Ekata Diyachi Jivera Klesha. So peacefully sitting in front of the deities and singing these songs and contemplating on the meaning can make us feel remorseful and repentant for our envy. And that actually can dissolve the envy by when we have the tears of repentance. It can dissolve the envy. So that is also a solution. That means opening our heart to the Lord. And also some devotees are they have very thick relationship with their counselors. They go to the counselor and openly say, I am feeling a terrible envy for that devotee. I have one counselee. He used to come to my room and speak sometimes 15-20 minutes. He will speak to me. So this fellow will openly tell me, Prabhuji, I am feeling very much envy for that devotee. This is too much. It's becoming too much now. I can't tolerate it now. And this devotee is, the more I get to know him, the more I know that he's a more and more wonderful devotee. And the more I hear of his new wonderful sides, I'm becoming more envious. So he'll come and tell me. Then I told him, you go and learn this from the devotee, learn from the devotee. So, but later on he told me, the more I come and tell you, my envy is dissolved. The more I open my heart and express my problem, and then I told him, When he went to the devotee and naturally appreciated him, gradually the envy went away over a period of time. So, revealing mind in confidence to a superior, honesty, it's not very easy for people to admit that I'm feeling envy. We may say that I had one drama, I'll check whether it's in Hindi drama, let us check.
Hare Krishna Balaram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishnadas, Hare Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna.
I heard Prabhuji you called for me. Any service for me?
It's about today's morning Bhagavad class, Krishnadas. Would you not like to take a feedback from me?
Oh, definitely Prabhuji. I would love to hear that feedback from a senior. Why not? Please let me know Prabhuji. What is that?
Today, people were appreciating you very much. They were thinking that you have a fantastic realization. They were applauding. But I understand that this lecture was taken from Maharaj's last Vyas Puja lecture where he had spoken about humility. Am I right?
Exactly, Prabhuji. In fact, in the beginning of the class, I mentioned that the reference of my today's lecture is from Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja address.
Oh, did you? I probably must have missed that out. Anyhow, Krishnas, tell me one thing. Is it not that it's just 3 years that you have come to the temple?
Yes, very much.
And you haven't had your Brahman initiation as well?
Yes, Prabhuji, not yet.
So, how come were you taking the Bhagavatam class? Because these are basic requirements for a Bhagavatam class.
Exactly, Prabhuji, exactly. In fact, I mentioned this to our temple president that I am not qualified to sit on this Vyasasana. However, he suggested me that he has already sent my name for the Brahman initiation. And it is he who wanted me to give a Srimad Bhagavatam class. So how can I reject his order? I was reluctant. And that's why.
That's all right. He might have told it just to encourage you. But you youngsters must also understand this fact that activities and sevas like taking Srimad Bhagavatam class and other things are meant for seniors like me who are little higher. For you youngsters, it is better to take smaller services, easier services, supportive services. You shouldn't get into all these elated activities like Bhagavatam class where there is applause, where people are appreciating. This is not right.
Sure, Guruji. Actually, in fact, I'm very grateful for your kind suggestions, and I would like to approach my counselor to throw some light on this topic. And carefully, I would like to discuss whatever instructions you have given me and take his good help and suggestions and guidance. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
You must do it at the earliest.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much, Badaram.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So what did you learn from this? See, that other fellow, the garden who is meeting him, the white fellow is a junior devotee, correct, no? And the other fellow is a senior man. But the senior man is not being given chance to give many Bhagavatam classes because what happens, when he gives class, he brings politics, he brings many sensitive issues of the society in his class. And also he is very critical of many devotees in the temple and he speaks about them on the Vyasasana. So seeing that the temple management decided that he will only be given once in 6 months or once in 4 months like that. He is given rarely. So he is very much eager to give, but he is not getting chance to give. So, but this junior devotee is a very, very nice devotee and many people love him. The devotee is young devotee, but then he is most wanted by everybody. And people are sending chit to the president, please ask this younger devotee to give. So now he is asked to give. But then the senior is not able to take it. He is calling him to garden and giving a feedback. He saw that, hey, itna jaldi mat bhago, thoda dhire se jao. Because he is afraid that this fellow will go ahead of me. what will happen? So this mentality should be given up. So that means, one thing I told you, revealing mind to your senior and taking help. That's one thing. And also praying to the deities, I told you, we can do that. And going to the devotee with whom we feel envy and directly appreciating them and doing some service for them. And also another thing we can do is, Krishna is only saying, Mama Tejomsha Sambhavam. My tej only is coming in all the jivas because they are all whose parts and parcels? Krishna's parts and parcels. So I'm manifesting my opulences through my part and parcels in different ways. One of the part and parcel of Krishna is very handsome. One is very intelligent. One is very, rich, wealthy. One is very renounced. One is very strong. So every jiva is manifesting some opulence of Krishna in small proportion. So if I'm becoming envious of that part and parcel, then I'm ultimately feeling envy for Krishna only. So we can philosophically also pacify our mind. Another way we can pacify our mind is, we can tell our mind that these jivas who are manifesting some great abilities, they have done some punya in the past. Correct, no? Due to which they are carrying those opulences now, which we may not have and they may have. So there is some difference in our bank account. So, like for example, say you go to your shop to buy a piece of cloth. You go to a division where the dress that you want is 5,000 rupees, but in your pocket you have only 2,000. Then what do you do? Then you are going to purchase. Of course, they will take you to another section where you can get within that. Similarly, your punya decides your capacity, your ability to do anything wonderful in this life. Purva janma arjita punyam, agre davati, it is said. So, every one of us is our material body. This is like a vehicle. Somebody has a Luna, somebody has a Maruti, somebody has a Benz, somebody has a aeroplane. So, I have realized this personally by observing the world around me. There are boys who have very high IQ. Even when the board is filled with complex differential equations, till the last step when professor is writing, there are 2-3 boys who will raise hand and say, what is the next step? But when the problem is beginning, there will be 20 boys raising hand. Night I have seen. But as you go to the second board, third board, fourth board, number of hands will reduce. Because everybody doesn't understand. It becomes complex as you proceed. But even after it becomes super complex, still there are people who understand. Like Einstein, when he first pronounced relativity theory, and time dilation theory, nobody understood. In fact, scientists thought he is crazy. He was not crazy, they were crazy. So it took them time to understand when he made a chart and showed the speed of light and the space and what is the connection between the two. Slowly, then he gave the example of 2 trains. If there are 2 trains, if both trains are going at the same speed, you will think that both trains are standing. You will think like that. Because they both are going at the same speed. When there is a relative change in speed, so then many simple examples he gave. Then slowly slightly started understanding that it makes some sense what he says. So, in the same manner, you will see that we will find amongst us somebody more powerful, somebody less powerful. Different opulences manifest from different devotees. You all know the Kirtaniyars, like for example, Madhava Prabhu or Janavi Harrison. I saw recently one video of Janavi Harrison Mataji, and also similarly Madhava Prabhu also. These people sing very simple tunes. You've seen that? She's singing in one university. There are 2,000 students. And same Prabhupada tune she sang. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Almost 50 minutes she sang this tune only. And at the end, the students started standing and clapping hands and raising hands and dancing. All over 2,000 people, can you imagine? Now any of us may say, I also know this tune. This is not a very difficult tune. We may say that, but we go and sing, we cannot attract so many people. Because it is some opulence that is manifesting in her. She has done some punya in the past. Our Chaitanya Charan Prabhu used to say, He said, I spoke one lecture, which is about like something like 20 minutes or something like that. And Amaglapu liked it very much. Amaglapu took the same thing and he fluffed it and made it 40 minutes. What Chandra spoke in 20 minutes, he made 40. And that got 40K. He said, this doesn't have even 4K also. You know? He said, this is only 400, 500 people watched here. That 40,000 people have watched it. So once he was joking when we were all talking, he was saying, because everybody has, what do you call it? Some kind of punya that they're carrying. Like you say one thing, another person says the same thing. You know, you see the number of viewers is so different because somebody is carrying that punya. The fame is also one type of opulence. It's one of the opulences. So once you understand this law of karma, because this person has fame potency, you know, this person can, easily become popular even for a small thing. But on the other hand, somebody lacks that fame potency. He may have some other potency. So he may have the Vakshaturyam, or he may have strength, he may have money and things like that. Different people have different opulences. Like Prabhupada says about this Modi, Xerox, this Modi company, he had at one time, more than, 50,000 people working under him. And this fellow was Anguta chap. He doesn't know to put his signature also. Some of the business people will tell somebody, hey, can you put signature on my behalf? You've seen that? They do that. He is such a person. And he has 50,000 people working under him. In Ahmedabad, Prabhupada says. And there is one PhD fellow who has done PhD in chemistry. And no company is ready to give him job. They are saying you are overqualified. Because if we take you tomorrow, you may leave and go for another job. So this fellow started a soap company and he is going in cycle to deliver soaps to shops. Who? This PhD fellow. Prabhupada saying after PhD, he is having a small soap manufacturing unit, making at home and selling soaps. And this fellow is illiterate and he is, 50,000 people working under him at his beck and call. He's saying. So Prabhupada is talking about the fate. The fate actually that we all undergo is actually coming as a result of our past actions. Once we know this, then the PhD fellow cannot feel envy for Modi, correct now? Because he has done something for which he is getting the fruits now, correct now? We are all in the receiving end and also creating karma, both. We are receiving the previous life good and bad actions right now. And right now, whatever actions we are doing, further fruits will come later. Yeah. You have a question? Please give the mic to her. Yeah. The mic is coming to you. Mic is coming.
Actually, these problems are because of anarthas only. So, Adhoshraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan, Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. It goes anartha. But how, and it is said that Anartha Nivritti takes a lot of time.
Correct.
But then how to, and that also we know, like Krishna consciousness is a sense of consciousness and internal progress, purification of heart is more important.
Right.
But how to...
How to be patient in that period of time, how to tolerate and go on with this?
But how to calculate, ourselves, judge ourselves at how we are really purifying or not.
Oh, right. That's very easy. Say, for example, I have a boil in the hand. Doctor has given me some ointment to put. I applied ointment. How do I know it is getting cured? If somebody comes and presses, I will know. As soon as I press, if I say, that means it's not yet. Correct, no? Similarly, we can see that, one fellow went to a doctor and said, doctor, I get angry for even small things. Can you give me some medicine? He asked. Doctor said, okay, tell me, with who all you become angry? Tell me. He said, who are you to ask me that? Like that he asked. Then the doctor understood, okay, now I don't need answer. You become angry with whom? Everybody. So, that means the doctor understood the level of his anger from that one question. The same manner, our test of humility, test of tolerance, test of patience, test of respectful behavior, all these things are very easy from the way we react to the situations. That's why Krishna started talking about Siddha Prajna. The second, Dukkeshu Anudignamana, Sukheshu Vikataspruha, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Sitadir Muniruchyate, Na Prakrishyet Priyam Prapya, Na Udvijayet Prapya Priyam. Tira buddhira sammodho, brahmavid brahmani. So these verses make it very clear. Dukkeshu anudignamana. That means in suffering, he doesn't become agitated. Sukheshu vigata spruha. When he gets success also, he just smiles it off. He doesn't take it too seriously. And then Vita means without. Raga, Bhaya, Karoda. He doesn't have any serious mental attachments, fears, and anger. Gives up these things and he is equipoised and balanced in all the ups and downs that come in the life, which the world throws. The world is a place of uncertainty and uncontrollable nature. So, how we deal, others need not give a certificate. We ourselves know it also. When situations come in our life, whether we erupt or whether we respond or we react, correct, no? To the situation. Somebody says, I am foolish. So how do I respond to that? Do I react to that or I respond to that? So somebody may be affectionate to me, somebody may be insulting me. How we respond, that's one thing he says. So in this way, when we are talking about the anarthas, which cause envy, but one interesting thing I will tell you, feeling a competitive nature with others is necessarily not an anartha. I'll tell you why. Prabhupada says even in spiritual world, the gopis also feel competition. They say, oh, this gopi has made such a beautiful garland. And the divine couple loved it. They openly appreciated it. So I also want to go to this gopi and become her assistant. And I want to learn from her how to make garland. So that tomorrow I will also make a very wonderful garland which will be appreciated by a divine couple. Like that one feels even in spiritual world. So Prabhupada says that the gopis also have competitive nature. At the same time, their competition is not to condemn others. That's the main difference. They never condemn another gopi. Oh, she has become more popular than me. I will pull her leg down. Like that they don't think. They think, oh, she did such a wonderful service. Maybe I should go and learn from her so that I can also do better service. Because the goal is to see the divine couple pleased. With my service, they are little pleased. With her service, they are pleased more. So how I can make this little pleasure into a lot of pleasure for the divine couple? So one goal is to please the divine couple. Another goal is to be willing to become submissive to someone who is better than me and learn from them, adopt their ways and styles, be willing to learn from them. There is this thing comes in the Antarila. Radharani says, if Krishna is not happy with me, swinging me in a swing, I will go to that gopi and I will request her, please swing with Krishna and give him joy, by swinging in the same swing. So which means for her, her intention is to see Krishna happy. If Krishna may be happy through me or through someone else, but my goal is to see Krishna happy. That kind of thing. Similarly, like spiritual master, is looking for somebody. Say, can you call that X Prabhu? He's asking. And my name is Y Prabhu, for example. I go, Maharaj, I am here, Y Prabhu. I can also do the same service. But Guru says, no, you can do. I know that you can do. But I want X only, he says. For example, he said, can X come and play Mridangam for me? He's asking. And I am Y saying, Maharaj, I am Y here. Can I play? He says, no, I want only X. What does that mean? Because X knows how to play properly. Because there are some Mridangam players, when I am singing, I see that they go too much fast. I have to run with their speed. That means they decide my speed in which I have to sing. So on the contrary, other people I know, perfect Mridangam players. So I may prefer somebody. Which means amongst two Mridangam players, X and Y should be ready to go and request X that, Prabhu, Maharaj wants only you. So you please come for playing Mridangam. You may say, Prabhu, you also know it. No, I know it. But my Mridangam is not as good as yours. Therefore, he is calling you, you come. And without feeling envy, one should be able to say that. Correct, no? So, because we can know that Krishna manifests through all of us differently and in more quantities from others. So, in this way, even in spiritual world, Prabhupada says, there is a kind of healthy competition there. There is no unhealthy competition. Material world, the unhealthy competition is to condemn others' surveys, to badmouth about them to our own juniors. Imagine if one senior tells his own juniors bad about another leader, then the news reaches the ears of the other leader or other group. It becomes very problematic. Whole community will become very poisonous and very polluted, correct? No? So we should not talk ill of And the problem is what? We may not talk directly, we may talk subtly. Correct, no? Subtle criticism means the juniors can recognize that we are subtly criticizing another senior, and they understand that in dono ko jamta nahi hai. No? They understand like that. So that creates a lot of problem in a community. So let the competition be a healthy competition, which means be open to learn from others, be open to promote others in front of you, and also take a back seat if need be. So there are some people who push themselves forward, correct? No? But we should know what will please the superior, and that person should be pushed forward, correct? No? Yeah. These are things very important to know about envy. Yeah? Envy is like a diseased state of mind. Yeah. Like once His Grace Burijan Prabhu says, he went to New Vrindavan with one another devotee. And they were talking to Prabhupada for an hour. And when they were about to leave, like this, Prabhupada was standing in the first floor. They were walking away. And then Prabhupada waved the hand. Then they again came back. They climbed up. Prabhupada took his garland and gave it to the other devotee who was with Burijan Prabhu. Burijan Prabhu was feeling in his mind, today when I came, I gave a donation to Prabhupada and he appreciated me and I gave $200. But then while giving garland, he didn't give to me, he gave it to the other devotee. Why so? He was thinking. And then later on, Burijan Prabhu saw that the other devotee had left, blooped and gone away. So then he wrote a commentary. He said, Prabhupada saw that devotee becoming weak, and therefore he wanted to give the garland and encourage him not to leave. But anyway, he left. So why a spiritual master does what he does? He only knows. I am already healthy. I am even giving donation to temple. So somebody is already doing well, he has already encouraged and is doing. Prabhupada thought, why to give garland to such a devotee? The one who needs should be given. Like that he understood. After that he didn't feel bad. He said, why should I feel envy for somebody who is actually needing that mercy of Prabhupada? He understood that, he says. So in this way, in our life also one should know that if somebody is performing better than me, they have done punya in the past, they have the merit, they are enjoying the fruits of the merit. I can't try to imitate them, copy them, be like them. That's one thing. And another thing, if they are giving more pleasure to the authorities and superior by doing that service better than me, let them do it and I will become their assistant to assist them. Yes.
So passion, competition is generally in mode of passion. So if it is done for spirituality, so is it really every time in mode of goodness or passion? Actually, I have that doubt.
Yeah.
And another thing, actually, what happened since childhood, generally, actually, it is a tendency like till 10th, 12th,
Competition.
competition.
correct.
Yeah. And eventually, actually, we are too much frustrated with the competitions. And we want like...
When we come to devotion service, at least we should get peace of mind here. Here also there is competition. Correct? Yeah, that's a question. See, I told you a question before you completed. So, see, generally people think spiritual life means peace. But peace is 0, 0. And that's why Buddhism has the maximum followers in this world. And because most people are looking for peace. Peace means no emotions. They say that, negate all emotions, go to nirvana, shanti, shanti, shanti. Same with Nirvisheshwadis also. So Nirvisheshwad, Jainvad, Buddhism, they all are talking about 0, 0. Our movement is taking us not to 0, 0. Where it is taking us? The positive axis. So in the positive axis, in the negative axis, there is negative competition. In the positive axis, there is positive competition. But the positive competition, like, coward boys one coward boy is telling his friend, Adi duram gate Krishne, mana shobha ikshanayatam, aham purvam, iti samsprishya re mere, like that there is a verse which says that one coward boy is telling other boy, hey, see Krishna is far away, watching the forest beauty, So I am going to run now and touch him first, he says. Another coward boy says, I will touch him first, he says. Then they both are running, and then one of them touches Krishna first. Other one says, Jai, he says. Huh? And while running also, they are laughing and running. Huh? They are not gritting their teeth, which means in that running race, they are inspiring one another to run faster than the other. He says, I will run fast so that you will be inspired to run faster than me. Huh? And he runs fast to inspire this fellow to run faster than him. So this A thinks that let B touch Krishna first. And B thinks let A touch Krishna first. So in this way they both run. And finally one of them touches Krishna and Krishna embraces him. The other one says, Jai. What does that mean? That means he feels happy that his friend succeeded. And Krishna embraces that Jai telling devotee also. He embraces that. Because in spiritual world there can be more than one best. In the material world, there is only one superlative. Good, better, best. In spiritual world, it starts with best and more best and even more best. So, spiritual world, this kind of small competitions may be there amongst the devotees, but those competitions don't produce heart burning. They should be done in a friendly mode. Prabhupada says, too much competition is not good, Prabhupada writes. But no competition also makes life boring. Life can become boredom. When there is no thrill, no challenge, no competition, then we go to comfort zone and the same old thing again and again we keep doing in the same old way. No innovation, no creativity, no growth, no development, no progress, and repetitive. So it becomes very boring. And too much competition creates panic and heart burning, leg pulling, backbiting, bad mouthing and all that. So we have to be in between where there's a little competition which gives us the impetus to work harder. Like we have this Bhadra Purnimas coming and book marathon. Everybody makes an effort to do something little better than the previous year. Yeah. Somebody had a hand up who was asked to.
How should we behave so that the people are not envious of us? Because, we should not be envious.
But how can you know that others are envious of you? How will you know?
We feel that because sometimes we are blessed with certain things by Krishna, and we feel that others may be feeling.
One thing is, it's very risky to judge others' mindset. Very risky. Many times we don't even our own mind also. Others' mind we don't have to judge too much unless it is coming out in a very ugly way. Somebody is coming and telling you that so and so said about you like this, or then only we have to worry. Otherwise, I generally don't pay much attention to others. Even in the morning japa also, I just get into my own chanting. I don't look around who is sleeping and whose mind is wandering, who is facing what situation. Because I heard one very interesting, like a Zen Sutra I learned. What is it? Myopsis Thor. That's, I'll write it for you. What is this Myopsis Thor? Looks like a very great sutra, no? See. This is the formula. What is the meaning of this? I'll tell you. Mind your own business, save yourself, then help others reform. This is the sutra. You mind your own, don't worry about others. Everybody is like a patient. Save yourself. And then help others reform. First you do these two homework. Mind your own business and save yourself. Yes.
Actually, about the envy, means, or whatever the perception, actually I want to share about the perception, because being a homeopathy doctor, while our training was going on for post-graduation, that time generally we used to take one paper, means we used to tell the patient to write whatever your complaints, your mind, everything, and then we used to make the problem definition after that. So after it were our interpretations. And our teachers and seniors used to ask us, what is your problem definition? So once, for one lady, she wrote, she has taken loan and now she has some problems. So I interpreted like she must be having tension of the loan.
Correct.
And that's why she has created all the problems.
Yeah.
And then actually I took the case and there was absolutely no tension about her anxiety about her loan. So then my seniors told me, actually it indicates you how much you will get tensed because of the loan.
Correct. So you have Apman Manyate Jagat, they say. You have reposed on her what you face as a problem. Correct, that's true, yeah. Because we are seeing with the specs with certain color. Like if I have a yellow color specs, I see everything yellow. Or if I have the red specs, I see everything red. Correct. That's true, yeah, you're right. Therefore, sometimes we may feel that somebody is envious of us. It may be our assumption sometimes. We are not very sure. So when we are not sure about it, why to bother about it unless it comes to surface? Like we say, let the bridge come, let's cross the bridge when it comes. We say like that, which means let the problem become manifest instead of our assuming it. But if we are feeling envy for others, that's a serious matter. Then because we know it. Correct, no? Like Kshetrajna knows about his own Kshetra. Correct, no? Who is the Kshetrajna who knows all the Kshetra? As Paramatma. So he knows about others' hearts, we don't know. Generally, Bhaktivedanta Thakur says, the general description of the Jiva is to be good natured. All Jivas. The Jivas by nature have a very positive mindset. They are good natured. They are well-wishing. They strive for perfection. They are good. But they become spoiled due to the environmental conditionings, and also somebody, even a small child, sometimes if you snatch a toy, like that will shout. Otherwise, you generally not shout like that. Because of the environment applying some pressure on the child, he behaves like that. Otherwise, he will be smiling beautifully. You will see that. So similarly, people also, circumstantially, people exhibit bad qualities. So if I assume that all people around me are good-natured people, then our mind is pretty peaceful. But if I think all people around me are competing with me and I have to prove to them and prove to the world who I am and, show them who they are and I am better than them, then the world becomes a very complex place for us. Correct, no? Yeah. Yeah. Give the mic to her.
So as you said about the competition thing and you gave an example of Gopas running together and laughing.
Correct.
So if in case like as a student, if I apply that same theory in my material life, wouldn't it be a loss to me because my peers might not be thinking that? And if I think...
Your peers may not?
It would be my loss. Like maybe it could be my loss because I am thinking, okay, let them do something. But
okay, let them do it and then I will take a back seat.
Yeah, but it would be my loss, right? If I use the same theory in my class.
So, the Gopas did not say that because I want my friend to win, so I will just sit down and let him go and touch Krishna. They didn't do that. They both were running. They both were endeavoring. Similarly, in our spiritual life also, like, there is an important service and we are telling 5 devotees, all of you try and then we will assess, who will be awarded this service in future. So, all of us can put our efforts. And then the seniors will decide who will take up this department. One example I'll tell you. We had this Govindas when we started. So invited congregation people who can lead the Govindas. So 3-4 people came. All are devotees. All are initiated devotees. And they all became chef. As a chef, what all I will do. They spoke in the interview and everything. Finally, we chose one person. We found that he is the person who has a track record of making good money in the past and also very talented and initiated devotee. And that doesn't mean others are failure or something. They did their part. They endeavored also to explain what they also had a desire to serve. But when they were not chosen, they didn't offend others. They said, okay, thank you for the opportunity. In case in future mein hamari zarurat pade to bola lijiye, hum aa jayenge. So, in this way, in any service, you should do your part. You should not shirk your responsibility to do that. Thinking that let my friends win. And by doing so, what will happen if you allow your friends to go, later on you may bury pent-up feelings, which will come out in an ugly way. Later on you may silently go to your room, bolt the door and cry yourself. I should not have missed this. So better that you try, and you tried it, And then whether you get or not is another thing, but at least you tried. Both coward boys are running to touch Krishna. And they both are encouraging one another. That is the way the Vedic knowledge is so wonderful. Everybody should do their part and try our best. And do your best and let Krishna do the rest. We leave it to him. So therefore we have no remorse that we have not done. We have not endeavored. I have endeavored to my best. If I got it, good. Hatova prapsasi swargam anjitva ava bhokshase mahim. If I win the battle, I rule the earth. If I die in the battle, I rule the heaven. Either way, there is no loss for me, Krishna says. To Arjuna, he says that. As per what's your question?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, initially you said about appreciation, but in material world also this appreciation, flattery or sycophancy is very close. So how should we understand means the difference and how to deal while taking it also and while giving also?
Yeah. Okay, I'll show you. This is about Prithu Maharaj. See, when Prithu Maharaj ascended the throne, all the great souls, Brahma, here you see Kubera, Varuna, they're all giving him different gifts, correct, no? I mean, Kubera gave a golden throne, Varuna gave a cooling umbrella, Vayu gave 2 chamaras, Dharma gave garland of fame, Indra gave excellent crown, and Dharma gave a punishing rod, and Brahma gave armor made of Vedas, Saraswati gave excellent necklace, Lord Hari gave Sudarshan Chakra, Lakshmi gave imperishable wealth, Shiva gave a sword of 10 moons. All these people are giving big, big gifts to him. Even many more. Parvati, Soma, Vishwakarma, Agni, all of them are coming and giving gifts. And after that, what happened? Prithu saw that the bards came there and praised him. And he smiled and spoke like thunder. Humbly chastised them. He said, how can these praises be directed to me, as I have not yet displayed these qualities? I am afraid that your words might go wrong. If I don't display these qualities in future, then you will incur sins. And because you have told something about me which I didn't do it. So he told the bards like that. And in future, in my absence, you may glorify me. But do not embarrass me by glorifying me in my presence, says. That means, don't embarrass me by praising me too much. See, for example, say you have a birthday. And some 4 or 5 devotees caught you in a program where you were there and they gave you a garland and they started praising you. So, some Vaishnavas, how they respond, they become very upset. Prabhuji, don't glorify like this. They speak so heavily that others get frightened. So, one should not chastise other Vaishnavas like that. Like I used to tell devotees that, what is this birthday? This body is made of flesh and bones. One day it's going to perish. Just turn into a pile of ashes. What is the need of birthday? So now nobody will come near me on my birthday. They are afraid now. Earlier they were giving a lot of cards and a lot of gifts and everything. Now they know Prabhuji doesn't like his birthday appreciation. So that according to Vaishnava lifestyle, one should not be so hateful about our appreciation given by others, because that may frighten others. At the same time, one should not eagerly welcome praises. Please, today is my birthday. Please, all of you praise me, please. Some people do that also. They say, Prabhu, today is my birthday. I just want your blessings. And, oh, really, your birthday? Then they will announce it. Prabhu, today is so-and-so's birthday. Put a garland, gives it. Everybody comes and praises. And they want pampering. That is another extreme. Correct, no? One is a hatred extreme. Another one is wanting to be pampered by others. Then I asked one devotee, Prabhu, why are you going around telling about your birthday? He says, Prabhu, thoda to encouragement chahiye. Thoda gaadi chalna chahiye. He says, if some devotees appreciate me, that will give me some boost to go on for some more time till the next birthday comes. As he was saying, so that kind of pampering is an external thing, not very good. On the contrary, here you see what Prithu is saying. So, ideal thing is, he is actually smiling at the same time, he's scolding them. He says, in my absence you can glorify me, but in my presence you are embarrassing me by glorifying me. He's saying right in front of me, you're glorifying to others. I feel a little uneasy by this. Like that he's saying. So that's and they also understood Bards. He's not too much angry with us. He is smiling and feeling little embarrassment. So they said, we are not glorifying you, sir, directly, because we have been told by the authoritative sages to glorify you. Therefore, we are glorifying. That they will tell him. Supreme Lord's pastime should be sung in the assembly and not in the glories of a low person like me, like that Prithu says. You should glorify Krishna, not me, like that he says. And then don't embarrass me by glorifying me because I have not yet manifested the qualities that you are talking about. And also, a person with godly qualities would never have others praise him. What is because the people who do not have these qualities? It's an insult. Only a fool would take it seriously. He says like that. Real saintly people hate praise of themselves as if it were criticism of their abilities. I am not famous for my excellent activities. How can I foolishly engage others in praising me? We are not capable of. And then the bards are telling Prithu, sir, we are not capable of glorifying you. Still we do so because we are eager for your topics. We are encouraged to praise you by the sages. Your pastimes are praiseworthy and you are a Shakti-Avish avatar. Like that they are saying. And you are upholder of Dharma. All the demigods reside in the body of a king who is a Rajarishi and faithful follower. Therefore, this way then the bard continued glorifying him. So I have written here 3 or 4 very, very important slides. You can read it. Please take the mic.
Giving up vanity over borrowed plumes. Prayers should not be offered to an unqualified person. A sadhaka thrives on the association of Guru and Vaishnavas for his very sustenance in Krishna consciousness, else he can be swept away by Maya like a tiny leaf in a current of water. Sometimes, if he studies some interesting realizations of great souls from the books of Acharyas and speaks, he may be appreciated by others, but he should not expect others to glorify him the way the Acharyas are glorified and worshipped by all. If one holds such false expectations, imagining oneself to be a self-effulgent Acharya simply because he has got some following, he is considered foolish.
So what is the main point here? How many of you experienced, sometimes you heard a lecture of a great soul, like say your spiritual master or somebody, and you made some good notes, and then you went and delivered it somewhere, and people are very touched. They said, wow, what a realization, what a point. You've seen that, no? People. So sometimes we tend to think that they are appreciating me and my presentation, but we fail to understand where I got this information. That we forget. So if I forget where I got this notes from, then I may tend to take all the glory to myself. Is that good? Very dangerous. Therefore we say all glories to assembled devotees. All glories. Finally we say all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. We give it away. And because why we give it away? Because we are getting things from them only, which we are manifesting. We should not think it's mine. So sometimes you see little girls, they sometimes perform one dance called a peacock dance. They wear a peacock feather, below also, in the head also, behind also, all over their body they wear peacock feather and they dance. It's one type of dance it is. So they look like a peacock. Many people clap hands because it looks like peacocks dancing. But that is called borrowed plumes because they don't have a feather of their own. They are borrowing and then wearing and then dancing. After dance, they'll remove it and give it. But real peacock has got its own feather. Similarly, Krishna is like the real peacock. He has all the plumes himself. But we are getting borrowed plumes from him. And then we are trying to manifest. Similarly, we are getting from Acharyas and repeating. So the glory should be given to whom? Acharyas. And we should tell the devotees, Prabhus, whatever credit you are giving me today, honestly, let me tell you, I heard these 3 or 4 lectures. I made notes. And that Guru or Vaishnava should be given the credit. I don't deserve it. Like that one should, one can, in this way, we have to give up vanity over the borrowed plumes. So this is one way of not taking praise which we don't deserve. And second one?
on being honest and transparent superconductor. If a man who does not factually possess the attributes of a great personality engages his followers in praising him with the expectation that such attributes will develop in the future, that sort of praise is actually an insult. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.15.23. Sometimes a sadhaka finds a group of newly arrived devotees profusely appreciating him as a pure devotee because they brought them to KC by him.
KC is what?
Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, yeah.
On their part, they are seeing the mercy of Krishna manifesting through the sadhaka. But if sadhaka thinks, I am the source of their Krishna consciousness, and if he allows his followers to glorify and worship him, that is actually an insult. Because a sadhaka should transfer all glories given to him to his guru and Krishna, like a tax collector submits all tax collected to the government.
Correct, no? So, even in counselor system, sometimes the counselees have too much reverence and appreciation and respect for the counselor. And they feel very great affection also, like children feeling for the parents. So, owing to this, sometimes the counselees tend to glorify the counselor as somebody more than what they are in their spiritual stature. So, if they are introducing someone as, today we have a pure devotee, who is going to give us a lecture, we have to clarify, Prabhu, I am not a pure devotee. I am trying to becoming a purified devotee. I am still getting purifications. And I am undergoing purification. I am not a pure devotee. We should clarify that. Similarly, sometimes on like one time we got a news that in one of the counselor groups, people were offering lotus petals at the feet of the counselor and gave very costly gifts to the counselor, and the whole program went for 4 hours of glorifying the counselor. It was like a mini Vyas Puja and things like that. So, later on we found out it was not so big as it was portrayed it to be. But it was a little carelessness on the part of the counselor to let the counselees do a program like somewhat like a Vyas Puja type of program. Vyas Puja programs are actually reserved for the spiritual master. So, sometimes on someone's birthday we can glorify briefly, but we cannot do a very whole program for them in a very big way. If you do that, what happens, I'll tell you. For example, if Radheshyamdas, I am president of the temple, I do a program where many devotees come and glorify me in 3-4 hours. Then what happens, people next to me also expect that they should get such a thing from their followers. Then you will find in our community, many Vyas Pujas will be going on, all around the city, everywhere. So, what I generally suggest, people have feelings, we cannot suppress the feelings. If counselees or followers have feelings, they can write a small greeting card expressing their affection or respect or gratitude or whatever, and then they may give it to the person, which the person can read at his own leisure, can read, not make a very big thing. Because anything we do or say, it is copied by people below us. So whatever example we set, others will copy. Like that verse says, Yadad Acharati Shrestha.
There is one question online.
Yeah.
How do we understand the difference between enthusiasm and competition?
Actually,
Krishna Rupa Mataji has asked. Krishna Rupa Mataji has asked. Mataji, if you wish, you can unmute yourself and speak.
So, yeah, enthusiasm to do more nicely is good. But what feeling do we hold for other Vaishnavas? That's the most important thing. Do we feel, like for example, Kaviraj Goswami wants to write Chaitanya Leela. And already Chaitanya Leela is available in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Now he also wants to write. But he clearly says, I am not writing this book just to compete with my predecessor, Acharya, Vrindavan Thakur. But why am I writing this? Many reasons he gives. Number one, he says, I was ordered by Pandit Haridas, who is a pure devotee and Radha Govind temple pujari. He talks about his qualities and he asked me to write, number one. Number two, he says, many others, many senior Vaishnavas, they all have jointly requested him. They told that, you are the one who heard from Raghunath Goswami all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. If you don't write it, the world will be bereft of Lord Chaitanya's Leela. They have ordered me. Number 2, he says. Then he says that when I went to the Radha Govind temple and I offered my obeisances, then Pandit Haridas asked me to write. At that time, one flower garland fell from the Radha Govinda Dev, and that was offered to me by Pujari. So I accepted it as a Agnya Mala. And then he also says that Vrindavandas Thakur has written, because his book became exhaustive, he wrote only the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, up to the point of taking sannyas. But after that, there is not much description. But what I heard from Raghunath Das Kante, from him what I heard was all pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri, which are all after sannyas. So, which means these two books are almost like mutually exclusive. This book talks about childhood pastimes, and this is going to talk about post-sannyas pastimes. And therefore, I am taking the guts to write this book, he says. And then he says that my request to all the readers that before you read my book, I request you to read the book of Vrindavandas Thakur. Why? Because he is the son of Narayani. Narayani personally got the palm full of prasadam from the hands of Lord Chaitanya. And she ate that prasad and erupted in ecstatic love for Krishna. And her son is Vrindavandas Thakur. And Vrindavandas Thakur is non-different from Vedavyas, who wrote Bhagavatam. So he has written the Chaitanya Bhagavat. And it's a beautiful book. Even I talked to a lot of inspiration from the book. I request all my readers to read that book, and then you read this, like that he says. So it's very careful, very cautious in writing another book in the same field or the same subject. Nowadays, if you see when somebody writes another book in the same field, the first thing they do is to criticize the other book. Why you should read this book? That fellow's book is useless. He has not properly understood the subject. So I am going to present a better version, better understanding. Better you don't read the book, read my book. Correct now? Paper publishing, they do like that. Correct now? So you can see Vaishnava way of, enthusiasm is good, but in the name of competition, one should not put down or condemn other Vaishnavas. That's the bottom line. Don't condemn other Vaishnavas, don't pull their leg, don't insult them, don't badmouth about them. Continue to maintain your respect for them, appreciation for them. Be careful when you are doing something similar. Take their blessings also, like that. That will help us know the difference.
So, yeah, devotees online, any other questions? You now have the facility of unmuting.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes. Shyam Saka Prabhu. Yeah. Yes. By his voice I can recognize. Every day the voice is there.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Prabhuji, we've spoken so much on how we should control our envy, etc.
This is a very important subject. That's why we are dwelling on it so much. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. My question is on the other side now. The object of the envy, the person who is being envied, how should he react? Should he just ignore it, or should he escalate it, or confront?
Actually, the first thing that person should do is to immediately go away from the other people who are envying him. In case you found out that some devotee hates you, from the speeches you understand. The way the devotee looks at you, the way the devotee speaks to you, you know that this devotee doesn't like me. We all know that. Actually, some people love us, like us, some people don't like us. Because the gut feeling, it goes from consciousness to consciousness. You can easily know that somebody doesn't like me. The first thing you should do is to keep a distance from them. Keep away from them. And the second thing, try to avoid doing any services with those people because it creates some sparks. Let them do their part, you do your thing, give them the freedom. So, let them do what they want to do and you do your thing. Keep a little away. And that keeping away gives you time for growing your consciousness and making yourself more healthy mentally. Because if you come close to them, they come close to you. There sparks are coming. And then our bad side of our personality is coming out. Just like Suruchi brought worst out of Dhruva and Suniti brought best out of Dhruva. how Suniti could bring best out of Dhruva by keeping Dhruva away from his stepmother. Because if Suniti pushed Dhruva to somehow cooperate and tolerate and be close to Suruchi, that would have created an explosion. She told, you better go to forest and you see Lord Vishnu. Keeping away helps. Keeping distance helps. And then becoming preoccupied and absorbed in your own service, and they become preoccupied in their own service. I have done it to some devotees. I put them in, two people are clashing too much. I put them in two different directions. You do yours, this service, you do this service, and they become very good after that. Otherwise, they hurt one another. And then after some years, when they both grow, they both become mature and they again become friends. Prabhuji, what all I was said and did against you in those days, I was a pakka neophyte. Now years have passed. Now I am able to see your good side. Then they give up envy after some time. Clear, Prabhu? Let's take the mic.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. You the mic too? Yeah.
The same one, that it said that for a pure devotee, no one is envious of him. So that.
Oh, who said that? Prabhupada, so many people are envious, and there were also trouble creators also. Because Yudhishthira was a pure devotee, pure soul, but he is called Ajatashatru. So he is not enemy of anyone. But Duryodhana felt envy towards him. Yeah. It can happen. Yeah. Therefore, there's one verse which says, Mrigamina sajjananam trinajala santosha vihita vrittinam lubdakadivara pishuna nishkarana vairino jagati. This verse is from Padma Purana. It says, in this world there are three personalities who are innocent people. And even though they are simple and innocent, there are three other people who are envious of these people. And they trouble them. Who are they? Mriga means deer. Mean means fish. Sajjanana means Vaishnavas. Mrigamina Sajjanana. Trina Jala Santosha. Trina means the deer is satisfied with some grass. And in the forest there is abundant grass. He is not encroaching on anybody's property. In the forest he is eating little grass. But he has got one enemy who is hunter. Standing behind the tree, aiming at the deer to hit him, kill him. So, what did he do? He didn't do anything. Nishkarana vairino jagati. Anavashyak. I mean, Nishkarana means without any reason. He is in. Similarly, mean is a fish. It is very happy in the river, moving around. But a fisherman goes there, puts a bait and pulls him out. So he becomes the enemy. Similarly, for Sajjanana means Vaishnavas. You may be a simple Vaishnava, practicing peacefully. But there are fault-finding critics who cannot tolerate a good Vaishnava also. Like Tukaram was not tolerated by that Salamalo. You know Salamalo? Yeah. Similarly, everybody has, like Ramchandra Khan. He could not tolerate Haridas Thakur's simple devotion. He blasphemed him. Similarly, that Gopal Chakravarti blasphemed Haridas Thakur when Haridas Thakur said, even by a glimpse of Namabhas, we can attain liberation. And he said that he offended Haridas Thakur after that. So there will always be enemies in this world. Prabhupada says, a Vaishnava to tolerate and go on. He says. Yeah. Yeah, here how to deflect the glories. You see here? Read this. On being a successful deflector of the glories.
Vaishnavas do not like to hear praise about themselves. Rather, they like to sing the glories of Hari, Guru, and other Vaishnavas. Thus, in sadhaka stage, when one is still in neophyte stage, one should follow in the footsteps of King Prithu and refuse politely when glorification is offered.
If somebody is glorifying you, what you say? No, Prabhu, it's all Guru's mercy. It's all Krishna's mercy. It's all, my senior's mercy. What have I done? I am simply made up of their mercy. He says, no. What he says in that song? I am all that I am made up of is by your mercy. What's that song? He says, Sakale Samman Kabe Heno Kripa Lobhiya Yajana Kritartha Hoi Benata Shakti Buddhi Hina Amiyati Dina Paramare Atma Sata. So this is another song. There's another where he says, all that I am made up of is by your mercy, he said. Yogyata vichare kichu nahi pai, tomara karuna sar. Correct, that's the one. Tomara karuna sar. So we can deflect the glory given to us by bringing Guru, bringing Krishna, bringing Vaishnavas. We can do that. Yes. Yes?
In sadhaka stage, it may be pleasing to one's senses to hear from someone's own glories.
Someone about one's own glories, yeah.
Because that pampers one's false ego and gives a sense of elevation. That experience is technically called as sense gratification. One should intelligently deflect such glories to Guru and Krishna's mercy. That will save oneself from becoming falsely proud, imagining oneself to be a somebody what one is not.
See, one time, some traveling brahmachari from some temple came. He's a Hindi speaker. He was wearing saffron. We didn't know who he was, but we gave him one Bhagavatam class. So he was giving a class in the Kunjaveri temple. The temple hall was full. Many people had come that day. So after the class was over, there was one Mr. Punjabi, as a life member who gives donation and all gives. He said, Prabhuji, मेरा एक प्रश्न है आपके संबंध में. आपके इस लेक्चर के शुरुआत में आपने बोला मैं शूद्र हूँ, मैं तुच्छ हूँ, मैं पतित हूँ, मैं नीच हूँ. ये सब सुनकर हमको बहुत बुरा लगा. हमको छुप गया हमारे हृदय में. आप तो महात्मा हैं, आसन में बैठे हैं, बड़े प्रवचन दे रहे हैं. इस तरह बोलना नहीं चाहिए आप अपने बारे में. अगर आप बोलेंगे ना, हमारा मन में आपके बारे में आइडिया जो है बहुत खराब आइडिया आ जाता है. आपको तो हम सोच रहे हैं कि आप महात्मा हैं. ऐसे ही वैसे रहे. Then that devotee said, देखिए ये वैष्णव के समुदाय में एक आदत है कि शुरुआत में थोड़ा बोलना पड़ता है ऐसे. हम बोलते हैं हम नीच हूँ, पतित हूँ, फिर भी आपको समझ लेना चाहिए कि हमारा लेवल क्या है. नहीं तो हमको इधर क्यों बिठाया है? हमको बिठाया है व्यासासन में, उसका मतलब है हमारा स्टैंडर्ड इसलिए तो बिठाया है. लेकिन हम बोल रहे हैं, ये बोलना हमारे नम्रता के लिए हम बोलना पड़ता है, हम बोलते हैं. He was telling, and many devotees were laughing later on, because this is not a very correct understanding. He can say that, हाँ मैं नीचे हूँ, मैं तुच्छ हूँ, क्योंकि हमारे आचार्य और परंपरा पे आज कितने बड़े बड़े लोग हैं. प्रभुपाद इज सो ग्रेट, सुखदेव गोस्वामी इज सो ग्रेट, मेरे गुरु भाई भी इतने महान हैं, मेरे अंदर महानता नहीं है कुछ भी. He can say like that, but he changed his tone, and that was not very good. We are not saying it just out of etiquette. We should actually feel it. If we cannot feel it, at least we can say it. We can at least try to say that I am small, I am insignificant, I am not great. Yeah. That's why he's saying that one should intelligently deflect such glories to Guru's and Krishna's mercy, and that will save oneself from becoming falsely proud. Imagining oneself to be somebody what one is not. I have given the picture of Krishna and our Bhishma, because Krishna deflected glory to Bhishma and made him glorious. Correct, no? By making him speak to Yudhishthira and pacifying Yudhishthira. So I think this is the last, I think. See this one. False glories and imaginary followers. I read that quickly.
False glories and imaginary followers. A sadhaka may be surprised to see people whom he is preaching to becoming attracted by his preaching and becoming attached to him. He may start wondering, what is in me that makes everyone love me and be fascinated by me? The answer is that the sadhaka is a neophyte and he has become attractive because he is representing the glorious message of Krishna consciousness coming from Guru and Krishna. Krishna is attractive, and people express that love for Krishna by reposing that love on the preacher.
You understand it's fine, no? He said Krishna is attractive, the message of Krishna is attractive, and when people see Krishna manifesting through a devotee, that devotee becomes very attractive for them. Prabhupada was almost 70 plus when he went to America, but even young boys and girls were very charmed by his Krishna consciousness. So, but a preacher doesn't know why everybody is attracted, so he can take it materially. Correct, no? Yeah.
If a sadhaka preacher becomes intoxicated by such success, he is likely to become distracted from Krishna consciousness by pride, competition, proving one's greatness, minimizing those who may appear to be not so empowered, ignoring good instructions of superiors and guru, etc. A sadhaka should consider himself like a postal peon of the spiritual master. simply to deliver the goods of message from parampara.
See, these are all the bad qualities that come when we become proud. You see, he says here, we may get distracted by pride. We may get into a competitive mode to show I am greater than that preacher, this preacher. And also, if somebody is not famous like me, then we may consider them good for nothing. Think like that. Because some devotees are great devotees, but they don't appear so empowered. They may be in the background. They may be very humble. So, and also we may ignore the good instructions of superiors and guru, thinking that now I am already a great devotee. I don't need anybody's instruction for me anymore. I have no time for the classes. I don't have to go to classes. I will myself give classes. One thinks like that. So in this way, false glories and imaginary followers, it is said. Whenever we should know that people are appreciating, praising us, it's mainly because we are connected to somebody above us. Like for example, people see our spiritual master in us. People see that, oh, this person is a pakka follower of his spiritual master faithfully. So, many places I travel, there are many disciples of Radhanath Maharaj. So, when they see me, they say, Prabhu, Maharaj तो आते नहीं है, मिल नहीं पाएंगे, लेकिन महाराज ने अपने कृपा को भेजा आपके रूप में. So, you have come. So, whatever respect and affection they repose on him, they repose on me, because they see my connection to him. Right now. But if we take it otherwise, that, oh, people like me so much, I am a great soul, I have a halo around my head, I have the holier than thou attitude we get, that's very dangerous for us. The moment we are disconnected from parampara, nobody will look at us after that. They will say, you're good for nothing. So the connection to parampara, empower, just like this bulb is glowing here, because it is connected to the electric pole. The moment it is cut off from the pole, no more light. Similarly, we won't have the ability to enlighten others without the connection that we are having right now. That should always be remembered. The last one, yes?
Glorify the source of all qualities. A sadhaka should know that our abilities, physical, mental, intellectual, etc., are supplied by Supreme Lord. Thus, it would be hypocritical to block the glories of others from transferring them to the Supreme Person to whom it belongs to. That is why we say, all glories to assembled devotees 3 times, and all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, without stealing any glory for ourselves.
Yeah. In this way, whenever people glorify us, we divert it to great souls and we'll be saved from any kind of danger. So these are some of the points. So, coming back to the the presentation in delivery, eye contact is written, great presentation. PPT with bullet points during discussion was helpful, well organized, with good opportunity for every team member to play their role. So this team was a very nice team. Whose team was this? Glad group, are they here? Yeah. She's the only one. You both are there. 2 of you. And she was also there, yeah. You all did drama also, I think, right now? Very nice. It was a very nice group it was. Also, Kalyani Radhika was a part of the same team or different? She was the another one, yeah. You were leading the team, I think, this one. Okay, very good. And then understanding and question answers. When we feel envy for someone, is there not a possibility that the other person may have some problem too? The question was a good one, and the answer was deep and quite enriching to consciousness, which means you got 10 out of 10 for the question answer, which means it must have gone well, I think. And the answer was given quite well. So this group, they got 35 out of 40. Very nice. So today we could not discuss the 5th group, only 4 we could finish. Next meeting I'll complete that. But this topic is a very vital topic, so I didn't rush through. We discussed many things about envy today. But I would like to take quickly some takeaway points from what you learned, otherwise it will evaporate from our minds. Because envy we discussed at great length today. Both from the online and offline, one point, cut. Those who have revealed 1 point, you can take off. Go for prasadam. You are liberated from the meeting. Okay? At least 1 point everybody should say. Let's give the mic from where? Let's start.
Non-envious attitude of Suniti. Humility and non-duplicity.
Perfect. Haribol. Yes. Mati. Yes. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, as a sadhaka, to become non-envious, we should associate with humble devotees and devotees who are grateful and non-envious too.
Yes. And that association helps us to also, cultivate the good quality. So we should surround ourselves with uplifting association and good souls. We should look for, identify, associate with, and it's called as flanking ourselves. Kaviraj Goswami says that putting a fence around the creeper means surrounding ourselves with good association. Thank you. And then?
We can every day we give 5 compliments to 5 devotees and express gratitude.
Very good. Good. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
The understanding about the competition, spiritual and material, that was very beautiful.
So what was the main difference you understood?
The feelings, Prabhuji. Competition is there everywhere, but in material competition, we want to be better than others. We are the center.
Yeah.
But in spiritual competition, we both want to please Krishna, and therefore the efforts are put in the best way possible.
Yes,
and
encouraging one another.
And there's no ill feeling towards the other person at all. While in material competition, we may have that kind of consciousness.
Correct. And we don't condemn others.
We don't condemn others.
We don't badmouth about them. We don't condemn them. We don't pull their leg. So these things are done only in the material world. Spiritual world, they won't do that.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu?
So what I learned is whatever we are sharing with others is not from us, is from the parampara. We are just a postman or delivering the messages.
Very important. So by understanding this fact, it doesn't increase our head weight. We don't become proud. Thank you. Haribo. Yes, Prabhu.
One of the point, Prabhuji, you said about Sita Pradnya, how we react to the situation.
Correct. Yeah. So, from that, what did you learn? Should we respond or should we react? So, in what context I brought the Sita Prajna here? Can you say that? Because she asked a question, Vaikuntha Vilasi Mataji asked a question about, she asked the question about, how to know? How do we know whether, we are progressing in our Krishna consciousness, our anarthas are going away? So I told a couple of verses there. Dukkeshu anudvignamana. That's one verse, correct? No? Napravishet priyam prapya. And then?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you said that difference in bank account of karma, one point, that why certain devotees, certain qualities manifest because of their past life.
Actually, the moment I knew this was one of the most powerful envy dissolver. Which one? To know that everybody has a different account of punya they have done. So I have only 200 punya. Somebody has 15,000, 20,000 punya. So he is very famous or popular. Why should I envy? Because he did punya for which he is reaping the fruits now. Correct? No? See, for example, in the last rainy season, somebody sowed certain seeds. And then in December or January, he is reaping the fasal, But I didn't sow the seeds. What is the point in envying him? Because he has done, he is reaping. So by thinking like this, lot of our envy can be dissolved. Thank you. Then?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. While giving material compliments, we should try to connect them with Krishna and enthuse them to take to Krishna consciousness.
Correct. That's very valuable thing. Haribol.
You gave the answer to that risk of judging others by the formula of MYOB and SYS and THOR. Mind your own business and save yourself and then help others.
Then help others reform, That is another formula which saved a lot of my energy and time after I learned that, yes.
Our sincere effort in preaching or in whatever effort, that we should not expect that a lot of appreciation from others.
Right.
We should be prepared that people will not respond positively and prepare itself that but continue to do our services and keep doing it.
Yeah, I am doing it to please Guru and Krishna. And if they sometimes may recognize and appreciate but we should not have too much expectation from the world around that causes depression, frustration. So don't expect to be pampered. Need for pampering causes depression later. Yes.
One way to root out envy is by revealing our heart to seniors.
Correct.
That will help.
Yeah, and we can be very honest and frank and ask, how do I deal with this challenge in my mind? And that's called Guhyamakyati Prichati. Then that will be great help, yeah. That's one of the ways to dissolve the envy. Yeah.
Another way is know that Krishna manifests through all of us.
Correct.
So different sparks of the splendor Krishna. So to overcome to have a healthy competition, know that we can learn from others and we can also promote others rather than only ourselves.
Correct.
That is very healthy for us. And more important is to know the goal is to please the superiors of Krishna and Gauranga.
Correct.
Vaishnavas.
Thank you. Good point. Very good point. Yes.
Every soul is carrying specific opulence of Lord, so don't feel jealous.
That is the point Shankar Pandit also said. I think you had captured the same point. Very good point. And then, anybody else?
Jiva is generally of good nature. So we should have that disposition generally.
Yes. Jiva's discretion is to be generally good and it strives for perfection. Naturally, Jiva is kind. We don't have to unnecessarily assume that this devotee is poisonous, that devotee may be like this. Sometimes we imagine more than what there is. We don't have to too much imagine problems. Yeah. Actually, many of the psychologists also say that schizophrenia, you heard of schizophrenia? It's coming due to imagining that there are group of people plotting me or they will kill me, and actually unnecessarily Jiva imagines more than the actual problem. So no need to worry. That's one reason why we should not read too much breaking news and all. If you read breaking news happening all across the globe, then you also develop phobia. Things like that. Yes. And then? Where's the mic?
You also mentioned about how even grown-up devotees need encouragement. And in response to a question that, when we are expecting some kind of appreciation, that how souls has the nature of getting some fulfillment, the nature of love and getting loved, but it should not get into the zone of pampering.
That's perfect understanding. Very good.
One more thing, I think, Prabhuji, you said like how the God reveals to the devotee. There's no one between Lord and you. So the devotees are only, so you have to work with the devotees.
Correct.
Saying goods in others, appreciate others.
Yeah, correct. Haribol. And then? Who hasn't spoken yet? Yes, Mati. Yeah.
Is it that we are making the devotees angry and taking some bad from their mouth? Or we are appreciating them and taking some good qualities from them?
That means we should not deal with devotees in such a way that, it increases our bitterness. So what did I tell Mataji? In case with some devotees dealings are becoming little bitter and it's creating sparks, what I said we should do?
We should channelize them to other devotees where they can settle down and they get everything, whatever.
Increasing the distance with them is helpful, and we can pray for them from a distance and take up another service and they do their service. Because our community is a big community and ISKCON is a much bigger community all over. So we can always have our space to do some service and be happy, rather than all the time stay with them and keep clashing. Like there were two devotees, they were not ready to leave the department. So once I told them, why are you clashing like this? He says, no, Prabhuji, ask him to leave. He said. And this fellow is saying, ask him to leave. And they both are saying, some of you will adjust and work. And every day there is a spark. So both are attached to the service. Then I told them, you do the same service in two different temples. Same, you like the service very much. So you do the service here and one do the service there. So after the distance is given, both are very happy after that. Correct, no? Thank you. Yeah. You have the mic with you? Yeah?
The more we become materialistic, the more we become envious.
Exactly. Because Matsarata comes because of material consciousness. Very
the
good.
example of Grihamedis was given.
Example of which one?
Grihamedis was given in this context.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you. And then, one last point, Madhuji.
Glorify the source of all qualities. Keep Krishna in center.
Exactly. Very good. And Madhuji, you have said one point. Yourself behind, way behind. No. She has said one point here, yes.
Whatever people are seeing good in us, it is just due to our connection to Guru Parampara.
Deflect that glory to Guru and Krishna and say that it's all Guru's mercy, it's all Krishna's mercy. I am just trying to fulfill the order of my Guru. I have no qualification. I am a small person. Actually, by saying it to others, we also contemplate on what we just now said. And that makes us humble, rather than imagining ourselves to be somebody what we are not. Thank you. So,
anybody online, if they would like to add?
Prabhuji, can I?
yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Prabhuji, when you said that if you appreciate in the mind, then the seed of envy sprouts us. So we should openly appreciate devotees and appreciate someone's material qualification. We can use it as an impetus to bring them to spiritual life also. So when Krishna says, I am the ability in a man.
Correct.
So whenever we good quality in a person, we should, this ability is coming from Krishna itself only. And then you also mentioned that he has his past punya, and that is why in this lifetime, he has that special quality in him. So if somebody is a very good singer, somebody is a very good book distributor, or somebody is very beautiful. So that is coming from his past punya. So this is one thing which I really resonated with my own self. So I like that point, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Good. Many good points. Very good. Thank you. Then?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, I like that point a lot when you were analyzing the skit, where you mentioned if you go to the doctor and you get a very good diagnosis, but the actual thing required is a good prescription.
Yeah.
So that is what is your view. So similarly, when we are interacting with other devotees or even normally, we should ensure that we are just not the diagnosis, we don't stop at the diagnosis part, but give a proper call to action.
Correct. The most important is the practical application of all these things, what we are talking today. That's why we devoted a lot of time in practical points. Thank you. And somebody else's voice was coming.
Prabhuji, it's me. Thanks for a nice class. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear,
Yeah, the answer you gave for how do we know we are getting purified or non-envious. That self-test, I very much liked it. Like you said, if I have a boil, how do I know I'm getting out of it? So if somebody presses, then I know it pains, then I still have it. Also, you said another analogy, like somebody goes to a doctor and treatment for an angriness, and then the doctor what do you get angry with? Then who are you to ask? That means I still have it in me.
Yeah,
so this way, the self-test is the best test. We don't need certificate from anybody else.
Correct.
Thank you.
Good mind. Thank you. Very good. Many good points came. Yeah. Do you have the mic with you? You had the mic.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Prabhuji, like I am facing this, that whenever I see a great devotee and if I feel I also want to be like that person, then
and that's good. One time one devotee told, I want to be like Prabhupada, he said. And immediately that devotee went and complained to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he says he wants to be like you. Prabhupada said, it's very good. Because he is aspiring to become a great devotee. His aspiration is not bad.
Prabhuji, but then I contemplate on it that why I'm not able to. Then I contemplate that devotee is having so much of association which I am not getting.
Correct.
And then I pray for that.
And then, your praying is good. So far, so good. No problem.
But then I don't get that association still. Then I contemplate that maybe is it because of pious activities like punya that person is getting so much of
Actually, one thing is, you will see that when Narada was speaking to Prahlad was inside the womb of his mother. Did Prahlad see Narada? Did he see? He didn't see. And was there any scope for him to see? No. The only sound vibration he heard. Correct now? When he came out, he was a pure devotee. So association mainly happens through the ears. Shravanam, attentive hearing. Srila Prabhupada says when he met his guru, he must have met him in 8-10 occasions. But not like this one-on-one, he was not talking to him. He was seeing his guru giving a lecture and he was Abhay Babu sitting in the audience. One of the audience, thousands of people, he was sitting. And the one-on-one audience happened, Prabhupada says, only twice or thrice. Once it was in Radhakund banks with a group of devotees. Another time in Koshi when everybody went for seeing Sheshashai Darshan. Prabhupada attended the lecture and Guru noticed that he likes to hear, he doesn't go away. He noticed. Another time when he met with Naren, He offered obeisances, Prabhupada gave instruction. So 2-3 meetings happened, brief meetings only. And then you can see Prabhupada how he flourished in his life. So one thing is, association doesn't necessarily mean that one should have been with Prabhupada in the morning walk. Every morning walk I went with Prabhupada and I was talking to him and asked questions, he answered. And even Niranjan Maharaj says, how much association we had of Prabhupada? He says like this, he got only 0 association. Even our Japamala we didn't get from his hand directly, he got by post, he says, So, but you can see how much love he has and how much respect he has for Prabhupada. So, association doesn't necessarily mean one gets, like Prabhupada wrote to his Guru Maharaj, I am a Grihastha, but sannyasis and brahmacharis are always living in the matha with you and they are serving you every moment. But I have my business, I have 5 sons. Please, can you tell me how can I serve you? Like that he wrote a letter to his Guru. And Guru said the same thing. Whatever I told you, you preach in English language to the people of the West. And then at the right time, you can say he did wonders. So he took that instruction of Guru to his heart very seriously. So that is the way we get association. We don't have to envy that, oh, he's a personal servant of Maharaj. Or, Maharaj always calls him and talks to him, he doesn't talk to me. Once Gauranga was telling me, Radheshyam, see, I work with Maharaj very close. And you serve Maharaj from Pune, little away. But he said, you are more fortunate than me, he was telling. I asked, hey, how can you say you are saying the opposite? He said, no, to work next to Guru is like, standing next to fire. It's very difficult, very risky, because you can judge the Guru. Sometimes he will tell you exactly opposite to what you want to do. He may not like, but you cannot say no. He's not just an authority. He's also Guru also. So he said, my job is more difficult than yours, he told. Because you have to serve in Pune and you have a lot of breathing space. And only once in a year Maharaj will come and then you can show him what wonderful things are happening in Pune. So in this way, who is fortunate? And finally we both concluded, both of us are fortunate. That's the conclusion. Why? He is fortunate because he's getting personal instructions and association, and which he shares with me many times. And I am fortunate because although I may not be physically regularly meeting him, I meet him maybe 3-4 times in a year I meet him. But he is pleased that, whatever instructions with which he sent me here, and those instructions are getting fulfilled. And the GBCs are happy, he is happy. So ultimately, the end result is Guru and Krishna should be pleased. That's very important. So, on last announcement I want to make, Marathon is coming up and Bhadra Purnima is also coming up. There is one devotee with us. Prabhuji can come here? Yeah. See, we have one group called as ICS, we call it. ISKCON Corporate Services. To cut the long story short, you see, what we are trying to do is to distribute Prabhupada's books in the company along with one seminar. I must have given maybe 300 seminars in different companies till now. But many times I didn't have the idea that along with seminar I can also push Prabhupada's books. Maybe first 100 seminars I did without anything. They would give me 5,000 rupees, sometimes 10,000 rupees. Some people gave 20,000 also. But I just took the check and came. Some people gave no money also. But I went and just delivered the seminar and came. We took some contact of interested people and followed up. That's all we did. But later, I requested the company to give a book table opportunity. They gave also. They put book table in company and some books went. Now recently we have come up with one new idea. What is it? Any company wants us for a seminar, we are going to give them a package kind of thing. 500 rupees worth Prabhupada books we'll give them. Per head 500 rupees. 100 people attend. How much they will give us? 50,000. So they give us 50,000 and we deliver them nicely packed, Prabhupada books along with some prasadam packet also. And already we have done it in 3 companies here in Pune. And the whole idea took shape again. Earlier corporate voice was doing well and it was almost like became extinct. Again it was revived by our Prabhu, who Kashi Mishra Prabhu and Gaur Bhakti Mataji. This couple, they were super enthusiastic. They gathered almost like 1,200 contacts in LinkedIn. And then they wrote to them. And one thing, the challenge they found was, if you write any letter to unknown company bosses, they don't respond so well. We saw that. Nevertheless, they got 3-4 contacts and we delivered the books, gave seminars. Now we are going to become more organized because recently what happened in Hyderabad, There is one company called, what is that company? Our Copart. Yeah, this Copart company has probably 100 branches across the globe, and US has maximum branches. But India, there's only one branch. And the unit head is becoming a devotee. The unit head of Copart. He comes to the Hyderabad temple. And then when I told him this Prabhupada books thing, he said, this is not a great big deal. I can take books worth 1 lakh, he said. And that was a big surprise. He called me one afternoon. We went and did Brahma Samhita prayers and we worshipped the deities. All the department people were there. There were about 100 people. And then I gave a lecture also to them. And then they asked question answers and all. And then in tables he displayed all our books and everything. He told them that any book you want, proper small book, medium book, bigger book, you can pick 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, any number of books, they are free for you, he said. And Bhagavad Gita also is free for you. But Bhagavatam said if you want, the company will give you 50% off and then you can put 50% and you can take the Bhagavatam set. Like that, that also we displayed. Then I asked him, should we take the books back? He said, no. 1 lakh check he gave us. He said, we will keep the books and we will send it to them. Other people will give, you don't have to. Because company has a facility to stock and everything. So he was a very, very friendly person. And he told companies have crores of rupees flowing like river, he said. Yeah, hundreds of crores of rupees. He said, CSR, they don't know where to give the money, he was saying. So in the name of seminar, we can easily give, he said. In fact, every year also we can do like this, he said. So after meeting him and seeing his positive energy, I felt very confident. In Pune also we can do like that. Then we made a team now. We have Kashim Shah Prabhu and Gaurabhakti Mother is one first team, and then we had Anantashesh Prabhu. Along Anantashesh Prabhu comes, and we also have one Hari Gauranga Prabhu Brahmachari in the ashram. And then we have Sanjay Prabhu, Dhananjay Prabhu, Sandeep Prabhu, yeah, Sandeep Prabhu. Sandeep Prabhu has a lot of awareness about social media and digital marketing and all. He is aware. You are in that field only. He is in that field. He is aware. So he came in one of our meetings and then he gave a lot of confidence and everything. Now who else has joined our team? Hare Krishna Prabhu also. Hare Krishna Prabhu is also helping in IVSS also. ISKCON Vanapada Sevak Sangha. And he is also helping with this also. So our team has come up with one plan that in all the counselor groups, we want to request you all that 2 types of people we are looking for. Seminar presenters who can give seminars in companies. Plus those people working in any company, if they can tell us that in my company I can try, meet the HR and then get an opportunity. It can be, 50 people needing, then 50 into 500 rupees worth of books they will take. That much only they pay for. Many companies, for them 20,000, 10,000 is a peanuts for them. And giving even up to 1 lakh also. So any books that go through one of your counseling, that counseling will get the score, half score. 50% score goes to counseling, other 50% goes to ICS, our department. Is that clear to everybody? Because everybody asks, what is in it for me? People ask. If you are taking all the score to ICS, then marathon time, our score, we won't get score. People are worried. So only one thing the candidate has to do, just to show a finger to your company some contact and you get half the score. Just imagine how wonderful it is. Imagine 1 lakh worth book goes in your company. You get 50,000 worth books. Can you imagine how much it will be, how big amount it will be? Not all companies may take so much. Some may take 30,000 worth, 40,000 worth. But it is a very, very well written letter from the early stage when Kashim Shah Prabhu wrote. The package is so attractive. We have given very nice seminar topics and many of the seminar presenters. So we are going to collect, if you have a card, you can explain about the card, Prabhu. Take the mic. Yeah.